The Boston Bruins was Gary Doak. Puck is still in the Bruins zone, comes free out to John Wensick, spun around nicely by Paul Holmgren, picked up by Rick LaPointe, throws it into the zone as Bob Kelly hustles forward for Philadelphia. Gary Doak throws it around, but it's not out. It comes into the slot area, knocked down, and that's Wensick down the left wing, going one-on-one. Shot in on Stevenson, knocks it into the corner where Moose DuPont has it for Philadelphia. Onto the stick of Bob Kelly. Flyers can come 2-on-1. Off the ball, Holmgren. Wrist shot, partially deflected, and Cheevers hangs on.
Good play right there on the part of Bridgman and Holmgren. They had a good 2-on-1, but the defenseman got back very well. It was Park coming back, or pardon me, not Park, number 28.
Clark caught it left wing. Ross Lonsbury playing the left wing for Philadelphia. It's underneath Clark, thrown into the corner where it's knocked down by Clark, intercepted by Clark, spun around, and finally it's Ritchell trying to clear to Marcotte. Here is Schwartz hustling for the puck. Over the line, wrist shot, partially deflected by Jimmy Watson. Knocked down by Lonsbury, throws it back to neutral ice. All-star defenseman Brad Park with the puck, right under the stick of Jimmy Watson. Can he reach it? No, he can't. It's knocked down by Park. Looks up for Ritchell. On the Ritchell stick into the Philadelphia zone. Out comes Stevenson to drop it off for Big Bob Daly. Daly with the puck, right under Reggie Leach's stick. Back to Clark, looks up the left wing, comes back right wing. Over skating was Reggie Leach, knocked down by Rick Smith. Off to Brad Park, throws it into the Philadelphia zone. And finally, it's Big Bob Daly for Philadelphia going off the board for Reggie Leach. Still in the Philadelphia zone, almost loses control, but Marcotte is spun around, knocked down by Leach. Almost a penalty there, and Philadelphia backhands it into the Bruins zone. This will be icing when it's touched up by blue liner Brad Park for the Bruins.
You can tell how much Don Cherry respects Reggie Leach out there for the Flyers. He's putting his premier checker on the ice against him, number 21, Don Marcotte, who is one of the great two-way players in the National Hockey League today, and by far the best checker for Boston. They've got him out there to try and neutralize Reggie Leach's big shot and his firepower.
Line of Greg Shepard, Rick Middleton, and Wayne Cashman for the Bruins. Philadelphia countering with Rick McLeish, Billy Barber, and Gary Dornhofer on the right wing. Defense pairing Tom Bladen and Joe Watson. For the Bruins on defense, Mike Milbury along with number 25, Gary Doak. Both clubs going with 5 defensemen.
That record that Ricky tied in 3 assists in 1 period in Game 1 also was tied by a man that is going to be watching this game very, very with much interest, with Barry Ashby, who's sitting in the Hahnemann Hospital watching this game with delayed tapes.
Shepard gets it back to Milbury, has no shot, and dumps it into the corner where Joe Watson screens off Rick Middleton. Tom Bladen goes around the ice, but he goes into the seats. We'll have a face-off in the Philadelphia zone.
Both teams are playing very cautious so far in the first couple of minutes. I thought at least one of them would come out and start that surefire, take the body, forecheck very well, and a hustling type start that both teams are noted for, but both teams very, very cautious so far.
Greg Shepard, the leading goal scorer in Stanley Cup action, comes back to Smith in on Stevenson, and boy, that was a flying shot, made a great save. Off to Rick McLeish, at the red line, throws it into the Bruins zone. Jerry Cheevers on his stick, off to Mike Milbury, goes to the backhand where Cashman beats Tom Bladen to it. Shepard hustling for the Bruins. Looks off the middle from the right wing. Good play by Dornhofer, and he throws it back to the blue line. Tom Bladen has problems, backhands it, almost loses, but controls for Philadelphia. Will skate it up the right wing to the red line to Dornhofer, in on Jerry Cheevers, and he decides to flip it out to the right wing where Cashman is positioned. Headman's the puck too far for Shepard. Bladen intercepts for Philadelphia. Looks to McLeish on the left wing. Good stick handling by Bladen. And finally buried by Wayne Cashman. Kicked out by Cashman onto the stick of Billy Barber. Comes back to Joe Watson deep into the Philadelphia zone. Joe tries to hit a breaking Gary Dornhofer, knocked down by Mike Milbury, and right back into the Philadelphia zone where Watson controls and has only Middleton to beat. Pulls up, looks for McLeish on the left wing, looks for a breaking Gary Dornhofer. Dornhofer at the red line, backhands it into the Boston zone, and that line heads to the bench. Brad Park for the Bruins, behind goaltender Cheevers. Kinderchuk on for Philadelphia, drops it off for Mike Milbury. Milbury with Kinderchuk forechecking for Philadelphia, hits Wally Harris, back into the Bruins zone. Good forechecking by Philadelphia's forward and center iceman O. Kinderchuk. Off his glove, looks for Selesky on the right wing, backhands it into the Bruins zone. Hustling back, Stan Jonathan for Boston. Knocked down by Bridgman. Selesky with the puck for Philadelphia. And finally, it is Terry O'Reilly off to McNabb, looks up to breaking Stan Jonathan. And it's Wayne Stevenson throwing it in the corner. Knocked down nicely by the Boston Bruins. Terry O'Reilly recontrols. Buried there by LaPointe. Kicking it out was O. Kinderchuk for Philadelphia. Moose DuPont with the Boston Bruins applying a lot of pressure. Trying to tee it up in front. Knocked down by LaPointe. Jonathan on him, and he skates away, at least attempts from trouble. McNabb trying to dig the puck out. Good play by LaPointe. Face-off in the Philadelphia zone.
Very good play by LaPointe. Flyers having trouble getting it out of their zone, and they've been standing around watching it. It's not a good sign so far in the game. They have to be jumping on that puck a little bit quicker, especially in their own zone if they're going to come out of here. You know, the battle of the face-offs, Philadelphia has lost are 0 for 4 in the face-off department so far in 4 minutes gone, and that indicates just exactly how the play goes. In the first period last Sunday game, Boston was 1-17, Philadelphia lost 11, and of course Boston dominated in that first period on Sunday. So hopefully that this area here will kick up for Philadelphia, and the trend of the game will change in their favor of the Flyers.
Matty Hagman to take the draw with Orest Kindrachuk for Philadelphia. Paul Holmgren at right wing and Bob Kelly at left wing. Charlie O'Reilly at right wing for the Bruins. Knocked down by Big Bob Daly. Backhands a little too hot for Kelly. O'Reilly right there. Losing it to O'Reilly. Closing. Knocked down in front. Oh, great save by Wayne Stevenson. Super save there. Hagman controls. Back to Brad Park. He tees it up. Stevenson gets another piece of it. And we'll have a face-off in the Philadelphia zone.
Excellent play by Wayne Stevenson on that close-in try by John Wencik. Holmgren all over him, and Wencik just made the play, redirected the pass in on Stevenson, but who had the goal blocked off as we pick it up here on the replay. Here's Holmgren all over Wencik, but it comes off the player's stick, and Stevenson was right there to make sure that it didn't go through. This is what Philadelphia needs. This is what any team needs in the playoffs, is good, solid goaltending.
Well,
guy that comes up with the best save, the big save when you need it, that's the team that invariably ends up on top.
We have played almost 4 minutes, and the Bruins have controlled most of the action in the Philadelphia zone. Joe Watson gets it back over the blue line, hustling back for the Boston Bruins is number 23, Rick Smith. Knocked down by Tom Bladen. Bladen tried to head man it to Paul Holmgren. Good offside call by linesman Leon Stickle.
Tommy made that little bit move to the left there, which threw Paul Holmgren off on the right side. If Tom had just got over the blue line first and then made the move to the left, it would have been all right. But that little move, that fraction of a second, just threw Holmgren off on the right side.
Terry O'Reilly will take the draw now with Orest Kindrachuk. A lot of people on the Bruins out here have not seen a lot of action. But Joe Watson at the red line throws it right back into the Boston zone. Brad Park with Kindrachuk in deep for Philadelphia. Screened off by Rick Smith. Throws off to John Wencik. Bladen with the puck for Philadelphia. Throws it in front. Kelly comes straight to Orest Kindrachuk. Behind goaltender Jeebers. Controlling is Kindrachuk. Buried by Brad Park. O'Reilly. Joe Watson with a good play. Down goes O'Reilly. Comes out to the Boston Bruins, Matty Hagman. Over Bladen's head, hustling back John Wencik. Bladen gets there first, beats Wencik to it, over skate, but in comes Paul Holmgren. Stick handles by goaltender Wayne Stevenson off to Bob Kelly. Spun around, intercepted by the Boston Bruins, but Joe Watson right there. He throws it off the board for Tom Bladen. Penalty coming up here. Bladen and Wencik collide. Holmgren collides with Wencik. In comes O'Reilly. In comes Kelly.
This is usually what happens most of the time when the Boston Bruins and Philadelphia Flyers collide in a 60-minute hockey game. What happened there was O'Reilly pulled Joe Watson down, and that's what he's going to be going off for. 2 minutes for holding, but there you see Orest Kindrachuk and Matty Hagman going at it. Paul Holmgren wanted to get a piece of that number 18 John Wencik, and Terry O'Reilly stepped in there. Bob Kelly stepped in there. Joe Watson and Rick Smith from Boston are also in there, and everybody's just milling around in the corner. Tom Bladen and Wencik are paired up now. O'Reilly will be getting the penalty for Boston. The initial penalty. What's going to come out of that ruckus in the corner, we'll have to wait and hear what Wally Harris says.
Maybe that's the only one he called, Bobby.
Could very well be. I think that's it. Now, this is the thing that's been the biggest disappointment for Philadelphia throughout the season and throughout these playoffs, is the inability to really capitalize to a great extent on their power play.
This is their 23rd advantage, Bob, and they've only scored 6 goals. And conversely, the Bruins haven't been much to stave off the power play, allowing 10 power play goals while shorthanded 30 times. So neither club, although had played well all year, shorthanded, not doing all that great in the playoffs.
No, Toronto very devastatingly ruined Philadelphia in their short series on the power play when Philly had the man disadvantage, but their power play is equally wasn't inept. They haven't been able to score with any consistency, and you have to score with consistency on the power play in order to win a lot of games, especially when you go down closer to the finals.
Forbes on for the Boston Bruins, loses it, knocked down by Shepard. There is Forbes throwing it back to Mike Milbury into the Boston Bruins zone. Milbury controls as Doak tries to screen off Billy Barber. Big Bob Daly spins around, and we're going to have a penalty here as he spun around Greg Shepard.
This is what infuriates players from both teams, is that Gary Doak did the very same thing to Billy Barber when Barber was trying to go in and get the puck. He interfered with them, and impeded the progress of the player, and no penalty was called. Then Bob Daly turned around and did the same thing to Greg Shepard along the blue line, and a penalty was called. The inconsistency is what really bothers the players, not so much as the calls itself. If you're going to call something, call it all the time.
So the Flyers had only 21 seconds on the manpower advantage. Boston controlled the face-offs, controlled the puck, and as it stands, the Flyers and Bruins will skate 4 skaters aside. For Boston will be Bob Schmotz and John Rattel. For Philadelphia, Ross Lonsbury and Gary Dornhofer. The defenseman, Moose DuPont, along with Jimmy Watson. And it comes free to Gary Doak, now wearing a helmet. Gets it off to Milbury. Comes back to Gary Doak. Good forechecking by Ross Lonsbury. We're in the scoreless first period. Mike Milbury, the Boston Bruins defenseman for the Bruins, off to Jimmy Watson. Backhands it nicely by Moose DuPont. Looks for Ross Lonsbury. Pulls it back onto Jimmy Watson's stick. Pulls up from the check of John Rattel, and Watson can't find the handle. Lonsbury onside Philadelphia. Watson trying to get a shot off. Partially deflected. Knocked down nicely by the forechecking Bob Schmotz. Comes free, and it is Milbury for the Bruins going 2-on-2 with Rattel trailing. Lofts it into the Philadelphia zone. Stevenson lets it go for Moose DuPont. Off the board for Gary Dornhofer. Takes the hard carom. Hart keeps it in the zone. Drops it off Rattel. He closes with Jimmy Watson on him. Back into Schmotz out to the point. Milbury closes. Shot. Hit the plate. Out in front. Deflected. Rattel can't get a piece of it. Goes into the corner. And finally it's Gary Dornhofer for Philadelphia. Good goaltending by Wayne Stevenson. The Flyers secure skittish. Bobby Schmotz, I think, was caught in the netting behind goaltender Wayne Stevenson.
That post play in front of the Wayne Stevenson, Schmotz went in there trying to poke it free. He got his skate caught up in the webbing of the goal, and that's what the whistle was blown for, because the player was caught up in the equipment. But the thing there is that the Flyers are getting caught out of position in their own zone. Here we see what happened. Stevenson making that save off his right leg, an excellent save. Here's where he's dumped by DuPont, and his skate got caught in the mesh. He made another save, Stevenson, right there. Looks very, very sharp, keeping the Boston Bruins at bay so far this period.
Puck comes free to Joe Watson, knocks down the rolling puck, looks off for Don Selesky, head-mounted off his skate to Kindrachuk. He has to circle away as he is checked by John Rattel. Kindrachuk tries to hit a breaking Selesky, knocked down nicely by Rick Smith. Off to John Rattel, comes back into the Boston Bruins zone to Brad Park. Scoreless first period, but the Bruins have been dominating. Off to Rick Smith. Smith at the line to Rattel. Joe Watson there for Philadelphia, tries to beat Rattel to the puck. In comes Oak Kindrachuk, looks for Don Selesky. Flyers coming 3-on-3 with Bladen trailing. Kindrachuk with the puck, comes back to Joe Watson. Retreats back to the Philadelphia zone. The Bruins have 15 seconds left on the manpower advantage. Selesky circles away from trouble. Kindrachuk breaking, goes back to Joe Watson. Flyers have 6 more seconds to kill off on the manpower advantage to Boston. Deep into the Bruins zone. And by that time, out will come the Flyers' Bob Daly. Both teams at equal strength. 12:48 to go in a scoreless first period. It is Don Marcotte for the Boston Bruins. On with McNabb, the center iceman. Attempts to tee it up. Ridden off nicely by Clark. Rick Middleton is offside.
Penalty to both players there. One to Boston, so Riley, and then one to the Flyers, Daly. And then you think, at 4-4, you'd have a little bit more action going on, but both teams check very well when they're at the mid of the box. And the Flyers had to kill off about a 30-second power play advantage. They did it well. Boston got no shots on goalie Wayne Stevenson. And of course, the Flyers haven't got a shot on goal this period. We've been played close to 8 minutes of the first period without a shot.
Center iceman Greg Shepard now out for the Boston Bruins. Rick Middleton right wing, Wayne Cashman at left wing. Leash, Dornhofer, and Barber the line for Philadelphia. Defense pairing Doak and Milbury for Boston, Moose DuPont and Rick LaPointe for Philadelphia. LaPointe hits McLeish, jumps over the skate of Doak, comes back to Moose DuPont. Flyers bunching up off to Rick McLeish. Fans on it. Dornhofer offside. The late offside would have been called here. Shepard is spun around by Moose DuPont. It comes off to Wayne Cashman. Brill making for the goal mouth. Milbury close. First shot. Partially deflected and it goes into the seat.
Boston's using their point very well. The Flyers forwards are going back in deep, which they're supposed to, but the centerman is supposed to come by and cover up for the man that goes in deep. If his left winger goes in deep, then he takes over and takes the cover of the left point. We haven't been able to do that so far this game, and the points for Boston have been left wide open, and if this continues throughout the game, they're going to have a lot of excellent scoring opportunities on goaltender Wayne Stevenson.
That time Milbury closed to within 35 feet, but fortunately it went off one of the Flyers. Oris Kinderchuk to take the draw with the Boston Bruins. Greg Shepard knocked down by Bob Daly. Barber as Doak throws it into the corner. Hustling for it is Jim Watson for Philadelphia. Backhands it to Gary Dornhofer over his stick. And it's knocked down and turned by Dornhofer, spun around by Milbury. Oris Kinderchuk with the puck comes back to Jimmy Watson. Headman to the Billy Barber, onside, but out comes goaltender Jerry Cheevers to hang on.
Billy Barber rolling in there very fast, trying to jar that puck loose from Jerry Cheevers, but with no avail. A man that's been around as long as he has will have a pretty good grip on that puck, and he'll watch for that. And of course, Wayne Cashman coming in and moving Billy Barber out of the way, and this is what the fans are upset about. They thought that that penalty should have been called.
Greg Shepard will take the draw with Rick McLeish. Out comes Bob Kelly, Mel Bridgman, and Paul Holmgren. Flyers, Fred Sherrill changing lines. Scoreless first period. We have played just a little over 8 minutes. Mel Bridgman will take the draw, attempt to get it to Paul Holmgren, while Shepard will try and throw it into the corner. He is paired with John Wensink and Terry O'Reilly. Bridgman knocks down the puck and thrown into the corner by Shepard. Bridgman right there. Milbury onto the stick of Paul Holmgren. Off to Bridgman with Kelly in front. Too far for Bridgman, and it comes free to John Wensink. Tries to headman it to O'Reilly. He overskates. Jimmy Watson with Bob Kelly with the puck into the corner, and another collision. Nothing really happening there, at least I don't think so.
What happened? Terry O'Reilly laid a super check on Jimmy Watson, and Bob Kelly just came over to let him know that he was around and nothing further happened. Body checking and the physical part of this game is starting to pick up, and that's what both teams need really to get the adrenaline flowing. Both are a big, tough physical team, and they play their best hockey when they're doing a lot of body checking, and this is what's coming out about now.
11:39 to go in the first period. We have yet to get a red light. Matty Hagman comes out to take the draw with Mel Bridgman for Philadelphia. Hagman only 21 years old, Bridgman but 22. Bridgman, Hagman, Kelly tries to free it up and finally takes it over the line. Spun around by Gary Doak. Kelly with the puck. In front, Cheevers knocks it down. Knocks it in.
Wally Harris is calling a 2-minute closing your hand on the puck penalty to number 26, Mike Milbury, when that was laying loose in front of goalie Jerry Cheevers, and he was down and out. Flyers will have another opportunity on the power play to go ahead in this game. So you see John Wensink and Mel Bridgman having words there, and we pick it up here on the replay. Exactly what happened. Here's the play. Jerry Cheevers not controlling that rebound, trying to get it. Gets away from a Bridgman's dump there by number 26 Milbury. Or pardon me, by Gary Doak. There's a puck lays right here. The prior to that being come out there, Mike Milbury closed his hand on the puck. Wally Harris was right in a good position to see it, made the 2-minute call.
Well, once again, the 17,077 come alive as Philadelphia had only 21 seconds last time they had the manpower opportunity. You can't actually call that a power play chance. And now it will be Greg Shepard taking the draw with Bob Clark. Face off in the Bruin zone. Clark gets a piece that comes back to Billy Barber. Off to Bob Daly. Throws it into the corner where Cheevers gets there first. Off the glass, knocked down by Rick McLeish. Looks for Barber. Has Clark behind Cheevers. On Clark's stick. Comes back to Bob Daly. Daly teased up. Creel screen. Deflected. Knocked down. And it is Barber getting to the puck first. To Reggie Leach. Back to Billy Barber. Shot through a screen. Partially deflected. Into the corner is Rick McLeish from Philadelphia. McLeish with the puck. Comes back to Barber. Through a screen. Deflection loose. Clark. McLeish closes. Quick shot. Clark has it. Corner. So Rick McLeish taken down. The Bruins can't clear. Daly keeps it in the zone. Joey Cheevers screens off Bob Clark. Brad Clark for the Bruins. In comes Reggie Leach. Back to Billy Barber. Keeps it in the Bruins zone. Good pressure by Philadelphia. McLeish shot. Oh, saved by Cheevers. The count winds up. Cheevers blows it and hangs on.
Gary Cheevers came up with a save, unbelievable save off Ricky McLeish to keep this game tied at 0-0. There we see on the replay here, Cheevers is way over the other side. The pass is just threaded right through Ricky McLeish, and he doesn't even waste any time. The shot comes, and Cheevers very fast in getting over and cutting off that left side of the net. Come up with the save of the game so far.
And Cheevers makes the glove save to hang on and get the Boston Bruins reorganized.
It's saves like that have put Jerry Cheevers in the record books. And of course, he's the goaltender that has recorded the most wins in playoff hockey in one series, or one playoff series, that is. He's got 10 wins. Most consecutive wins by a goaltender. That's the record that he holds, and that's 10. It's that sparkling play that's the result of it. Flyers still have 1 minute and 5 seconds to capitalize on this penalty by Boston.
And look who's taking the draw. Bob Daly, using his 6'5" frame against the 5'8" frame of center iceman Greg Shepard.
Interesting matchup. Philadelphia has recorded 3 shots in this power play. Far sight better than their first opportunity.
Around the boards, Lonsbury will get to it first before Don Marcotte. Drops it off with Big Bob Daly, hops over his stick, backhands it hard up the board to Tommy Bladen. Through a screen, knocked down. Daly can't find the handle. The Boston Bruins can't clear it out. Boosted punt into the corner. Daly tries to swing around. Shepard with the puck, and he throws it into the Philadelphia zone. 40 seconds left on the manpower edge. Marcotte checking for the Boston Bruins. Boosted punt with the puck for Philadelphia. Skates out right in front of Stevenson. Looks for Daly. Drops it off to Bladen. Bladen looks for breaking Lonsbury onside. Over the line into the corner. The Flyers will try and set up. Comes off to Gary Dornhofer. Throws it back onto the stick of Lonsbury. Turn around. It's loose. There's Daly trying to dig at the puck. And finally, Wally Harris says that's enough.
There's a big pile up in there, and when, it's pretty tough to move a guy that's 6'5", 224 pounds out of there, and that's what Jerry Cheevers was trying to do, and then Ross Lonsbury came in and tried to shove Jerry Cheevers out of the way. There you see a good shot of Lonsbury and number 21 Marcotte having words. I hope nobody can read lips, you. There's the replay right here. Daly parked right there. Brad Park coming in, trying to move the big guy out of there. The puck's laying right there, and all he does is just fall. That is Park, and Cheevers, of course, falling right there. And there you see both hands going, letting Daly know that he's in his territory.
Not much Brad Park can do to move the big guy out, but Clark comes on with Reggie Leach, Rick McLeish, Jimmy Watson, and Jerry Cheevers, sporting comparatively high 3.42 goals against average for 5 wins and 1 loss. Shepard will take the draw with Bob Clark. 21 seconds left on the manpower advantage. There still is no score in the first period. We're midway into period number 1. Encroachment there on the right side by Rick Smith, the defenseman for the Bruins, and Rick McLeish for Philadelphia.
You know, that 3.42 average means nothing, actually. It's the 5 wins and 1 loss. That's what you look for in this playoff competition.
Clark gets it back to Moose DuPont. Wrist shot knocked down. There's McLeish trying to get it to DuPont. Wrist shot. Great save by goaltender Jerry Cheevers. McLeish with the puck for Philadelphia. Tries to avoid the check of Doak. Gets it back to Jimmy Watson. He throws it back into the corner. Too hot for Bob Clark. Cheevers puts the glove on it. 5 seconds. Out will come Mike Milbury, who's off for a delay of game.
You know, that last pile-up on the goal line there looked like a first and 10 in a legal football game. There's Jerry Cheevers, the man that posted a 5-1 1-loss record. The man that really was the main reason why Philadelphia lost that game on Sunday night. He was outstanding in the latter part of the second period and all of the third period to keep Flyers off the scoreboard.
Boris Kinderchuk to take the draw, throws it in behind goaltender Cheevers. It comes free, and it's onto the stick of Marcotte. He has a bit of a problem with it. Off to Greg Shepard, and now comes Milbury. 85-footer, easily gloved by Stevenson off to Joe Watson. Onto the stick of Mel Bridgman. Back to Tommy Blade. Flyers have Zaleski on right wing, and Kinderchuk center ice. Knocked down the Bruins, and that is Don Marcotte. On the stick of Tommy Blade and McNabb. Into the zone as Zaleski screens off Cashman. Cashman goes down. Penalty here against Philadelphia.
Don Zaleski trying to slow down Wayne Cashman when he broke in on the left side there to pick up that puck. Put out the stick and hooked the Boston left winger, and down he went for a hooking call by Wally Harris. So the Flyers are being short-handed for 2 minutes, and it's the Boston second time on a power play, but actually it's only the first time they've had the full 2 minutes.
Flyers win 2 minutes, cranked up 5 times on goaltender Jerry Cheevers, but couldn't dent the armor, and it's still 0-0. Wayne Stevenson has been sharp in the early going for Philadelphia as the Flyers play giveaway in their own end. The Boston Bruins will have out John Rattel, Bob Schmaltz, Wayne Cashman, and will have at the left point center iceman Greg Shepard, and the right point a left-handed shooter, Brad Park. Bob Clark, Bob Daly, Jim Watson, and Ross Lounsbury for Philadelphia.
It's in these situations that these face-offs are very important. We're getting in the latter stages of the period. Face-off is in your zone, and you're going to man down. Power play against you. Here's where you really want to win those face-offs.
Clark to take the draw, gets a piece of it off to Jimmy Watson. In comes Bobby Schmaltz. Also John Rattel. Clark right there, and we have a face-off again in the Philadelphia zone.
Also, the fact of just lingering a little bit more on the face-offs. The fact that if you do have a very good face-off man out there, which the Flyers do in Clark, that you don't hesitate to freeze the puck and keep that offensive team off balance.
Clark wins the draw again, gets it to Jimmy Watson on the Lounsbury stick. He has a problem teeing it up. Knocked down by John Rattel. Back to Greg Shepard. Onto the stick of Rattel. He closes, comes back to Brad Park, tees it up. Partially deflected by maybe Jimmy Watson's skate. Off to Ross Lounsbury. One-on-one with Greg Shepard. Tries to move around Shepard and does. Closes. Takes the shot. Good off nicely by Brad Park, and he drops it for Greg Shepard. Good one-on-one effort by Ross Lounsbury as Shepard has broken his stick. Brad Park with Bobby Clark forechecking for Philadelphia. Clark comes up the left wing onto Wayne Cashman's stick. He'll have to do it solo as he looks at Big Bob Daly. Into the corner, Jimmy Watson on the bouncing puck, knocks it down, skates away from Rattel and gets it to Clark. Clark throws it into the corner where it's Jimmy Watson for Philadelphia. Clark cannot keep it in. Yes, he does. Knocks it down. The Bruins try and set up the Flyers in a box. Out to the left point, Shepard moves in front. Oh, a save!
Cheevers pulled off on Rick McLeish. The shot was made. Stevenson went down and picked a rebound playing there. Rattel had the wide open net. Stevenson reaches over and pulls it in with his glove and stones John Rattel. John Rattel. Holy, look at this right here. There it is, right there.
It went into the glove.
What a save. Holy cow.
Unreal. And Wayne Stevenson is really percolating for Philadelphia.
There's the man that's yet to be beaten in playoff action this year. 4-0 with a .261 goals against average. That lost Sunday, of course, goes against Bernie Perron because he was the goaltender who was in the net at the time the winning goal was scored.
58 seconds remains on Zaleski's penalty. Joe Watson gets a piece of it before Schmaltz does. Moose DuPont can't find it, and we have a face-off in the Philadelphia zone.
Boy, what goaltending we've seen so far this first period.
Already the mark right up in the Boston Bruins goal column, but incredibly, Wayne Stevenson got a piece of the rubber. Clark and John Rattel to take the draw. 8 minutes left in period number 1. Boston Bruins 53 seconds on the manpower advantage. Clark gets a piece of it, comes back to Greg Shepard. Through a screen, wide. Brad Clark will have to do a turnaround here as Billy Barber comes out just a little bit. Takes the shot, holds, goes out to Greg Shepard, tees it up through a screen, deflected by Wayne Stevenson. John Rattel and Bob Clark right there. Bruce DuPont comes in for Philadelphia. Comes off to Wayne Cashman. Stick handles in the Philadelphia zone. To Shepard, through a screen. Stevenson trying to stay with that. Clark comes in. Barber there. Joe Watson for Philadelphia. Off to Bobby Schwartz, out in front, up in the air. Bruce DuPont. Knocked down by Shepard. Barber gets a piece of it. Flyers looking for a penalty, but no quick one there. Here's Brad Clark with the puck for Boston over the line. Breaking his Cashman offside Boston.
Those are very excessive. The fact that Billy, there was no holding or hooking call on the part of Greg Shepard when Billy Barber was breaking down the right side, but Shepard did impede Barber's progress somewhat, but he did take a little dive, and I don't think Wally Harris was really in a good enough position to see it, as he was far over on the other side of the rink, and there was 3 or 4 players in the line of his vision. But when you're sitting above the play, you don't see that, and you know the penalty should be called, but it wasn't.
Well, we leave you take care of those things, Chief. 11 seconds left on the penalty to Don Selesky. And the Boston Bruins have had only 2 shots on Wayne Stevenson during this manpower advantage. McLeish has O'Reilly, gets it back to Gary Doak, drops it off and turn to Milbury. Milbury will try and take it over the line and does. Knocked down by Barber, off to Rick McLeish. McLeish in a foot race. This shot, making the save was Jerry Cheevers, and he skates out 30 feet. Drops it off for Terry O'Reilly. Over the line, tries a stick handle, and it's nice play by Big Bob Kelly from Philadelphia. McLeish and Gary Doak collide. Sticks got a little high there. Jimmy Watson took exception to Gary Doak's stick.
Things are really starting to pick up on the part of both teams here. Everything is going on here. The guys are getting a little bit frustrated, I think, on both teams. The excellent goaltending by both players, or pardon me, by both teams has really kept both teams in the game, and I think the forwards are getting frustrated that they can't find the range. This crowd, it hasn't stopped yelling since they announced that Kate Smith was going to be singing the national anthem, or pardon me, God Bless America.
Kate Smith has never scored a goal in a Flyer uniform, and we still have a 0-0 first period. 6:55 to go, and the line that has caused a lot of commotion for Philadelphia. Mel Bridgman, Paul Holmgren, and Bob Kelly. Now will take the draw with Mel Bridgman to Kelly. Controls for Philadelphia, throws it up in the air, knocked down, backhanded by Mel Bridgman. Off to Peter McNabb. Tries to clear, taken out by Clayton. Tries to put it up, it's up again. Loses control. Winston, 1-on-3. First shot. Stevenson loose in front. Watson to Kelly. Still in the Philadelphia zone. Kelly and McNabb. McNabb is buried, and the puck goes out, and it will be face-off in the Philadelphia zone.
Tommy Blade trying to tee that puck up. I think he got his feet crossed a little bit, just couldn't get back and recover in time, but an excellent defensive move by Joe Watson prevented the Boston to have a good shot on goal. Or pardon me, they did have a good shot on goal, but the follow-up shot was prevented. Stevenson made the good save from the angle.
Bridgman onto the stick of Joe Watson, right in front of Wayne Stevenson, off to Tom Blade. Headmans the puck to Paul Holmgren. Looks to Bob Kelly into the Boston zone. Hustling is Rick Middleton. Controls for Boston, off the boards to Wensick. Wensick drops it off to Peter McNabb. They're going 2-on-2. McNabb over the line for a shot. Score! McNabb cut off Joe Watson's stick, and the Bruins on top 1-0.
That's exactly what happened. McNabb coming into the just over the blue line, letting go a wrist shot that hit Joe Watson, I believe, on the skate, and comes up over Wayne Stevenson's left shoulder, much to his surprise. We pick it up here on the replay. Here's McNabb breaking down the middle here with John Winston on his side, takes a shot, hits Joe Watson's skate, not his stick. High over the shoulder of Wayne Stevenson, and the Bruins lead this game 1-0.
Middleton and Wensick pick up an assist. That is the third playoff goal for Peter McNabb, and the Boston Bruins are on top by a count of 1-0 in the first period. Knocked down by the Flyers' Ross Lonsbury. Looks for Bob Clark in the Boston Bruins zone, but it's Bob Schwartz. Knocked down by Reggie Leach. Lonsbury in front. Great save. There's Moose DuPont. Through a screen. Into the corner. Rattel gets a piece of it. Comes off to Bobby Schwartz. To John Rattel. They're going 1-on-2. Hold, shot. And Reggie Leach may have gotten a piece of it.
Rick LaPointe made a good play there, Hugh. Pass was tried to be, or the pass was faked. Slow down, Andy, you're getting ahead of yourself. The pass was faked, and Rattel tried to take the shot. Rick LaPointe came in and made the block, and the puck went into the corner.
Boston Bruins on top as they were the other evening, but the difference is we still have a lot of the first period left. 5:45. Jimmy Watson with the puck as the ferocious checking Bruins off to Reggie Leach. 50-footer partially deflected off Rick Smith in on Cheevers, and he hangs on.
Terry Cheevers' strategy is to force the face-off at all times and try to disrupt the offensive surge by Philadelphia, not to let them get anything going, any consistent drive going, and it has been working so far tonight. Anytime that you get a face-off, that slows everybody down, because then also when it comes into television, the commercials come in and it slows it down here, but we don't be bothered with commercials here in Prism.
Bob Clark to take the draw with John Rattel. Clark gets a piece of it, swept away nicely by Milbury, off to Gary Doak. He comes around to the left board, and Watson can't get anything of it. This will be icing as soon as it's touched up by Ross Lonsbury. Face-off back in the Boston zone.
Peter McNabb, what a season he had coming over from Buffalo, where he was kind of a forgotten man, maybe a fourth centerman, and now he came over here and he was very much a part of this Boston rise to the dominance in the Adams division this year. There he sees the NBA playoffs on Prism tomorrow night, of course, at 8 o'clock, and the Boston Celtics come to town for their 5th game in that series. That series tied at 2 apiece.
And that game sold out, Bobby. And you can see it exclusively on Prism. And we take a momentary wait here for our commercial friends up in the Boston area. Peter McNabb's goal at the 13:45 mark. Flyers hoping to even up the score here with a goal in the last 5:24. Reggie Leach is on the right wing, Ross Lonsbury on the left wing. Tight checking Boston Bruins, allowing Philadelphia, but 8 shots on goal. Lonsbury tries to get a piece of it. Clark skates away from trouble. Lonsbury knocked down. Rattel on Lonsbury, and it's the Bruins' Gary Doak trying to clear. DuPont with a good play. Lonsbury is screened out by Bobby Schwartz. In comes Clark on Doak with a face-off in the Boston zone.
We can pick up this goal again from another angle. As we see, coming in here, McNabb coming across the blue line, and that's that shot goal, hitting Joe Watson on the outside of his foot over startled Stevenson.
Moose DuPont with a puck for Philadelphia.
Moose DuPont and that one had to surprise Jerry Cheevers, because I don't think he saw it until the last minute as it was going by him, and the Flyers had tied it at 1. There's a man that used that wrist shot, and both of them have been wrist shots. Let's tie this game up here.
Moose DuPont with his first playoff point, and this is 8 games that were tied at 1.
There you see Cheevers waiting for the puck. Wrist shot comes there. It's in the net before the goaltender could move, and I don't think he saw it as it came off the stick of DuPont. It's all tied up.
Back to live action. Lonsbury in the corner. Going forward is Doak. Around the boards to Marcotte. Kept in by Tommy Blayton. 40-footer that I don't think Jerry Cheevers saw. Brad Park tries to clear out. Good play by Blayton to keep it in the Bruins zone. Rattel off the boards. Clark there. Ronnie Harris goes down. Here comes Leach. Poked away nicely by Rattel. The Clark comes back to Blayton. He's in trouble if he doesn't watch out. That is Don Marcotte with the puck over the line. Offside. As over the line was Bobby Schwartz on the off wing.
Schwartz thought he had his foot on the blue line, but he had it just about 3 inches over, and that's offside. But Philadelphia, having no shots with about 8 minutes gone in this first period, has really come alive here in the latter stages. They've picked up 9 to Boston Bruins 7, and they've really started to get going now. Not going to wait for the third period like they did Sunday. down. Here it is, right here at the point. You see both Schmatz, number 10 Rattel, and goes right through. Cheevers picking it up too late. Flyers tie the game.
Tommy Blade knocks down the puck in the Philadelphia zone. This puck should die before it goes over the red line, and it is going to be icing. It does not. But it's touched up by Gary Doak. Face off back into the Philadelphia zone.
Here's Gary Doak, a man that has to be the best punch and grab player in the National Hockey League. He might not have the greatest ability, but he's got a lot of heart, and I'll tell you, he always gets a piece of you. All that, just that little jab, that little clutch, just enough to throw you off balance, keep your timing away, and it proves to be very, very effective.
Second time with the Boston Bruins, also played twice with Detroit, Vancouver, and the Rangers. Into the corner goes the draw, hustling for Terry O'Reilly along with Mel Bridgman. In comes Oris Kindrachuk. In comes Matty Hagman. Puck is beneath Bridgman as Hagman is right there. So is O'Reilly as Dupont stands him up. And it's Kindrachuk for Philadelphia. Behind goaltender Wayne Stevenson. The Bruins are putting 3 people right into the Philadelphia zone. Knocked down by Milbury. Back and O'Reilly will be onside. Spun around by Dupont. Picked up nicely by Mel Bridgman. The Bruins really checking Philadelphia. They're playing giveaway in their own zone, Bob.
They did an excellent play on Terry O'Reilly there. The fact that the puck came up to Donnie Selesky, and it just couldn't control the bounce. It was bouncing when it did come out, and it's tough to control that puck when it's bouncing around like that, especially when you're trying to move out quickly. You're having trouble.
3:49 to go in the first period. It's a 1-1 hockey game. O'Reilly gets it back to Milbury with Selesky on him, throws it to Jonathan into the slot, knocked down nicely by Moose Dupont. Matty Hagman is checking for the Bruins, but it is Mike Milbury for Boston. Throws it into the Philadelphia zone as it is Moose Dupont standing up, Mike Milbury. Bridgman off to Don Selesky, kept in the zone by Hagman. Back behind goaltender Stevenson. Good pressure by Boston. Almost a giveaway here. O'Reilly, Kindrachuk on him. Kindrachuk with the puck for Philadelphia, moves past Hagman. Bruins putting 3 forwards in the Philadelphia zone. Blade stick handling again. Would be happy with a face-off, kicks it out to Selesky. Selesky to neutralize, though, Kindrachuk. Looking for a penalty, run forthcoming. Kindrachuk has to wait till Selesky gets onside. To Bridgman. Knocked down by Doak, off to Kindrachuk, right back into the Boston zone. In comes Don Selesky. Cheevers off the boards, kept in by Big Bob Daly. Up in the air and into the corner. Gary Doak knocks it down for Boston. Up the right wing. He is really buried, and it goes to Jimmy Watson. Hold it, let's see, somebody got hurt. I don't know who it is, 2 players down.
Doak and McLeish are both down here, and I think what happened is that Doak's skate got caught up in Ricky's equipment when McLeish laid that body check on him, and I think he might be a little bit injured on that play. He might have knocked the wind out of him somewhat, or hurt his arm a little bit.
And McLeish stays on the ice as Gary Doak goes to the Boston player bench. 2:43 to go in the opening period. Flyers won and Boston won. Only the 3rd goal in 8 games Philadelphia has managed to score in the first period. Fortunately, they haven't dug themselves a hole yet, Coach.
They've been playing a lot better in the first period tonight than they have throughout the series with Toronto and with Boston on Sunday night, and that really means a lot.
Puck goes into the Philadelphia zone. Stevenson gets a piece of it, throws it onto the stick of Jimmy Watson. He is paired with Big Bob Daly. Off the board to Gary Dornhofer. Comes free at neutralized to Brad Park. Off to the right wing to Rick Biddle. Takes it over the Philadelphia line. Spun off. Cashman can't get a piece of it. He's thrown away by Big Bob Daly. And Wally Harris says, let's have a face-off to the left of goaltender Wayne Stevenson.
How much it means to be well in the first period is the fact that the Boston team has to be on guard all the time for 60 straight minutes, not just being set for a 20-minute period or a 40-minute period. And you put the pressure on right at the start, and then that creates a little more fatigue in the opposition.
Jimmy Watson knocks down the puck, has to go to the backhand around the boards for Gary Dornhofer, gets a piece of it, thrown back in, delayed offside. Bob Daly for Philadelphia, off to Jimmy Watson, onto the stick of Rick McLeish, looks to Barber, looks to Dornhofer. Delayed offside will be touched by Dornhofer, it doesn't. It comes back to the Boston Bruins zone. Brad Park drops it off, a little too hot for Rick Smith, right onto the stick of Greg Shepard. Looks to middle from the right wing, Cashman at the left wing, into the corner. Daly hustling for Philadelphia, beats Cashman to the puck. Stick handles nicely in the Philadelphia zone. Headbands it to Rick McLeish. Has Brad Park to beat. Goes by Park. Park gets a piece of McLeish. In comes Gary Dornhofer. Turn around shot. Coming up. Oh! Stopped down by Park. Into the corner. Shepard for Boston. Barber on him. Taking off the puck. In comes Rick Smith. Wally Harris is into the face.
Oh, what a chance Billy Barber had there to get a good shot off for Gary Cheevers, but that was forthcoming. I think he moved out, tried to get out to get a better angle, and by then Craig Shepard came in and made the good defensive play along with Brad Clark to stop the Flyer forward from getting a good shot away. Here we see on the replay here is Clich and Park going into the corner. Gary Dornhofer comes by, and just as Park looks up, Dornhofer's there to meet him with a good solid body check. Those are the kind that really hurt, the ones that you don't see and can't set yourself for.
1:38 to go in a tied first period. Bob Clark to take the jaw with John Rattel. Goes into the corner. Mike Milbury spun around and tripped up by Bob Clark. And we'll have a face-off in the Bruin zone.
Mike Milbury hoping to get a hooking call on number 16 from the Flyers, but Wally Harris said no way. And in fact, Wally Harris is not going for any of the so-called dives by either team.
Clark and Rattel again. Lonsbury and Reggie Leach on for Philadelphia. Back to Reggie Leach off the Moose Dupont. Rolling puck. Great bad save by goaltender Jerry Cheevers. In comes Bob Clark. Tries to dig it free. Harris with the quick whistle. Face off to the right of Cheevers.
Anytime you get a good opportunity on your goaltender and the save, he makes the save, the rebound comes out, and they can freeze that puck, it's good because you try to keep it going. Invariably, the other team can usually forecheck you come up with a puck because you're in a hurry to get it out of there. The smart play is to keep cool and to try and freeze it or else dump it out of your zone and force the face-off. Philadelphia has really picked up offensively in the latter stages, as we mentioned before, that they had no shots with 8 minutes gone in the period. Now in the last 12 minutes, they picked up 10, and a lot of them good scoring opportunities.
Cheevers with another good save off to Don Marcotte. Also breaking John Rattel as back is Moose Dupont. Marcotte spun around. Marcotte pushed away by Moose Dupont, and it will be Big Bob Daly for Philadelphia. With 1:09 to go in the period. To Rick McLeish, he gets it out to neutral ice where it's Brad Clark throwing it off onto the stick of Bobby Swats. Has Marcotte free on the left wing, but throws it into the corner. Stevenson gets his stick on it to Big Bob Daly, with John Rattel forechecking for the Bruins. So Bob Clark reaches free on the right wing. McLeish, can he spot him? Knocked down beautifully by Brad Clark. Off to Rick Smith. Throws it to neutral ice. Daly knocks it down. Throws it into the Boston zone, where Marcotte put a good check on Bob Daly. Rattel intercepted by McLeish. McLeish with Reggie Leach. Oh! Quick whistle there as the Flyers were offside.
And Jerry Cheevers is really upset because the linesman, George Gauthier, he figured that offside call should have been called a little bit quicker so that the player wouldn't be able to get that shot away. And of course, he did get the shot away, and it was stopped by one of his defensemen. There you see Coach Don Cherry of Boston, a man that's done a great job with his Bruins team, molded into a good, hard-working team that Boston superstar Bobby Orr.
38 seconds to go in the period. It is Tom Bladen for Philadelphia. Throws it into the Boston zone. Hustling forward is Rick Smith. Backhands it. Bridgman intercepts for Philadelphia. Back off the dasher boards to Don Celeste. Tries to get it to Kinderchuk. Shepard right there for Boston. Intercepted nicely by the Boston Bruins' Brad Clark. 20 seconds to go in the period. Clark with Kinderchuk forechecking for Philadelphia. Drops it off for Wayne Cashman. Cashman off the board for Wensing. Into the zone. Knocked down by Jimmy Watson. 5 seconds to go as Bridgman clears, and it goes into the Flyer player bench. We will unfortunately have the face-off in the Philadelphia zone. 5 seconds to go. It is 1-1.
There's a man, Wayne Cashman, that has been the heart and soul of this Boston team throughout the years. He's one of the best cornermen in the league, and you have to liken his style of play to that of Gary Dornhofer, the one that ruts it out, grinds it out. No matter what rink he plays in, Wayne Cashman comes to play, and he'll give you 125%.
And of all the Boston Bruins on the ice, has appeared in the most Stanley Cup games, 84. Rattel with 85. Clark gets a piece of it, and Jimmy Watson throws a 160-footer that is off the mark. That's the end of the first period. Boston won and Philadelphia won.
An excellent period for
the right and left wings, respectively. Onto the stick of Jimmy Watson to Bob Daly to Bob Clark. Knocked down nicely by Mike Milbury. Lonsbury did not get a piece of it. This will be icing when it's touched by Gary Doak. Leach, the icing is off. Oh, threw it out to Clark. Milbury can't clear. Clark keeps it in. Leach is free. So is Lonsbury. Clark shot. Pushed into front. Whistle wide. Daly tries to dump it into the corner. Here come the Bruins, but Daly hustling back for Philadelphia. The Boston Bruins over the line. Schmott spun around by Jimmy Watson, taken down. Marcotte shot, ridden off beautifully by the back-checking Reggie Leach. Daly goes around the board to Lonsbury. He pulls it back, give away to John Rattel. A lot of folks in front. Daly knocks it down. Cleared but not out. Newberry tries to tee it up. Off to Schmott. Will have to do a turnaround on Clark. Throws it into the corner. Daly lets it go. No fire there. Mike Newberry. Good stick save by goaltender Wayne Stevenson. Clark gets it to Lonsbury. He lost it into the Boston Bruins zone.
Flyers forwards getting caught a little bit too high in the zone when the puck is in there, and their defensemen not having good control of it. But Reggie Leach made two excellent plays earlier, and coming back, of course, and stopping Marcotte from getting a good shot off on Wayne Stevenson. As we pick it up on the there's the save right here. It's a little bit after that. Stevenson making the stick save and going over the boards to Lonsbury. But then he also did a good play offensively when he raced in and outraced the Boston defense to get in there, and the icing was waved off.
Greg Shepard takes the draw, wins it. Joe Watson gets a stick down off the Gary. Dornhofer tries to beat Wayne Cashman to the puck, and Dornhofer controls, pulls up behind goaltender Wayne Stevenson. Off to Barber, kept in nicely by Brad Clark. Shepard spun around. McLeish can't find the handle, but Billy Barber does. Flyers can come out 2-on-2, but Barber has to retreat back into his own zone. Headman's to Gary Dornhofer. Cashman takes a run at Dornhofer. McLeish leaves it go for Barber. Onside with Joe Watson trailing. Tries to take it into the corner. Stood up nicely by Rick Smith as it is Tommy Bladen trying to keep it in the zone, but Rick McLeish gets it for Philadelphia. Looks to Joe Watson, comes back to Bladen. To Dornhofer onside. Closing. Keeps it up. Holds. Throws it to Billy Barber. Breaks the stick down. Comes back to Tommy Bladen. Good shot. Good pad save. Dornhofer tries to hold it to the corner and goes. Oh, the Flyers had a great opportunity. The Bruins coming 2-on-1. Cashman with Shepard. Hold to Shepard. Shot. Great save. And into the corner. Shepard controls. Drops it off for O'Reilly. McLeish there for Philadelphia. Out in front, nobody there but Gary Dornhofer. End-to-end action by Philadelphia and Boston.
Oh, what sustained action in both saves by Cheevers and Stevenson kept this game tied at 1.
Cashman shot. Great pad save by Wayne Stevenson as Don Selesky takes out O'Reilly. And McNabb, but it's Bladen for Philadelphia. Headman's it to neutral ice where hustling back is Stan Jonathan. Icing the call and it's touched by Jonathan.
Philadelphia getting caught out a little bit disorganized in their zone still, but excellent play by both teams, to bring these fans to their seats. But Stevenson came by and made that save on Greg Shepard, and it was an amazing save. And Tommy Bladen right there to fall and cover up on the rebound. Best thing to do when you've got that offensive threat coming at you and you have trouble getting it out is get it down the ice as quickly as possible and slow things down.
Flyers and Bruins in a tight checking game, mistake-prone to a degree as far as Philadelphia, Bobby, in their own zone, constantly giving the puck away. Stan Jonathan, Peter McNabb, and John Winsing. Puck goes onto the stick of Rick LaPointe. Headmans it nicely to Don Selesky. Bridgman is on the left wing. Selesky can't find the handle. Knocked down offside as Newberry and Selesky kind of go at each other, but that's the extent of it.
Out of the 11 shots that Philadelphia took it.
Oh, there goes Newberry. Moose DuPont. Shoving match started there. A little 2-minute roughing job, I guess. LaPointe has Winsing by the collar. A couple of big guys, Mike Newberry and Moose DuPont for Philadelphia.
Both of them just dancing there. Two big bears going at it. There's LaPointe and John Winsing kind of having some threatening glances at each other.
Mel Bridgman and Peter McNabb as LaPointe and Winsing just looking at each other more than anything. Horace Kinderchuk is squared off with Gary Doak. And Big Don Selesky on Stan Jonathan. Wally Harris says, let's go, let's get the gloves and sticks, so you're going to go to the penalty box.
And there's two other sets that are kind of pulling the jerseys, wrestling around a bit. Kinderchuk and Doak, Jonathan and Selesky. LaPointe, Winsing, everybody breaks clean.
So DuPont is in the penalty box along with Mike Milbury, and we have a delay in the action. I would assume 2 minutes roughing for each player, Bob.
I think so. There wasn't very many punches thrown. In fact, I don't think there was one, but you saw a shot from our camera there of all the sticks in the gloves on the ice. That is one scene that is always connotated with the game called hockey.
Milbury and DuPont are off, as we indicated, roughing at the 2:38 mark. Here in the middle period, the Boston Bruins have cranked it up 3 times on Wayne Stevenson, who has made some great saves. While the Bruins, Philadelphia cranked it twice, the Bruins 3 times. We're still in a 1-1 hockey game. So both teams will go 4 aside. Daly, Jim Watson, Bob Clark, and Reggie Leach, John Rattel, Bob Schmatz, Brad Park, and number 23, Rick Smith for the Bruins. 4 against 4 early in the middle period. Clark and Rattel to take the draw just at the red dot in neutral ice. Clark gets a piece of it. Rattel in turn. Clark holds, looks for a breaking Jimmy Watson. Holds, skates away from Brad Park, lost it into the corner to Clark. Spots Reggie Leach, tries to come around the board to Daly with Clark in front. In turn goes to Leach, spun around nicely by Rattel, gets it to Leach. Clark hustles for the puck. Jimmy Watson is free. Clark tries to come back to Reggie Leach and does. Leach tries to go off the board to Daly, but Rattel intercepts for Boston. They're coming 2-on-2 with back-checking Clark and Leach for Philadelphia. Daly stands up John Rattel. Leach has the puck for Philadelphia. Moves around John Rattel. Stick handling is Reggie Leach. Has Rick Smith to meet. To Daly over the line. Back to the rifle. Back to Bob Daly. Closes. Handle. Daly to Jimmy Watson. But Clark was at the right point, and Rattel will have to do it 2-on-4. Swept away nicely by Big Bob Daly to Jimmy Watson. Dornhofer on for Philadelphia as Bob Clark is in the zone by Jimmy Watson to Clark. Skates away and back to Jimmy Watson. Tees it up. Hustling forward is Daly. He starts with the puck. Daly, great shot. Loose in front. Into the corner. Dornhofer hustling for Philadelphia. Avoids a check by Brad Park. Still stick handles. Moves away from Brad Park. Should come out to the deep right point. Daly, 20-footer. Getting a piece of Jerry Cheevers.
And Jerry Cheevers and Gary Dornhofer had an intense battle going on there, and both of them are saying things to each other. And nothing's going to come of it, but they're really talking it up. Both of them have been around a long time, and here we see the replay. Jerry Cheevers lost his stick right here. Here comes Daly. Right out in front of the net, Cheevers goes to his knees and makes a super save, and of course Rick Smith there to clear the rebound away. Dornhofer doing a lot of the work here on this offensive drive. Makes a super pass right on the stick of Bob Daly, and this stick goes in, and Cheevers makes the save off his glove hand over the glass and the face-off to his left.
McLeish tries to throw it into the corner. Rick Smith right there along with Billy Barber, but Smith comes away with the puck. Most of the action sustained in front of goaltender Jerry Cheevers. Rick Smith headmans it to Marcotte, losing it to Barber. Knocked down by Greg Shepard, but Tom Blade intercepts for Philadelphia. Off to Joe Watson, still in the Philadelphia zone. Goes wing to wing to Tom Blade. Stick handles around Marcotte. Barber is free in the left wing. A little too far for him. Hustling back is Gary Doak. Bill Barber right there for Philadelphia, but Doak comes away with the puck. Headmans it to Greg Shepard. McLeish tries to get a stick down, kick free, and McLeish takes out Shepard. Bladen for Philadelphia. Pulls it back, loses it to Shepard. And in turn, it comes back to the point. Rick Smith tries to throw it into the corner for Greg Shepard. Spun around by Tom Bladen. Still controlled. Comes back to Rick Smith. Closes. Shot. Knocked down and under the stick. And moves DuPont out of the penalty box. Headmans it for Rick McLeish over his stick, but Cheevers clears. Throws it back into the Philadelphia zone. This will be icing when it's touched up by Tom Bladen. Oh, it trades off. Holmgren puts up the Bob Kelly. Or Stevenson. Back to Holmgren. Stick handles around Cashman, over the line. Kelly Brick, hooked into the corner by Milbury. 2 big guys go for the puck. Hinderchuck has Kelly in front. Knocked down by Peter McNabb. Around the board, Daly tries to keep it in. Can't find the handle. Spots comes away, but Daly gets back. Intercepted by Jimmy Watson to Paul Holmgren. Holmgren throws it into the Bruin zone. Good effort on the part of Philadelphia. Milbury behind goaltender Jerry Cheevers. Around the board, Watson keeps it in the Boston zone. Shot!
Jimmy Watson made the play along the boards. Boston scores, but cut too far up to their zone. There's the net that keeps getting the puck. Jimmy Watson skinning it home, but Brissett for winning time. Picked up that pass along the boards, fired it on Cheevers, and you see Watson moving in to make the play. Takes the shot, it hits the goalpost behind Cheevers, comes right out front. Kinnerchuck's right there, puts it home. Philadelphia leads this game 2-1. The play was made by number 20, Jimmy Watson, along the left board.
Boston Bruins down 2-1. Mike Milbury throws it into the Philadelphia zone where Moose DuPont throws it off the boards to O'Kinderchuk. Kelly breaking, little too far, but knocked down by Park. On the DuPont stick. Still stick handles for Philadelphia. Puts up and throws it into the Bruins zone. Kelly with Kinderchuk free in front. Can't get a slip down. Taken into the goal crease. Boston clears. Back into neutral ice. DuPont waits for Kinderchuk to clear. Head man to the point. Offside. As Kinderchuk was trapped in the Boston zone.
Kinnerchuck had his skate caught up in the goal there, and these fans were going crazy. .535 the time of that goal by Orest Kinderchuck. DuPont, or pardon me, Jimmy Watson getting the assist. Philadelphia up 2-1. Here we see a shot of linesman Leon Stickle. Reggie Leach, Bobby Clark out there for the Flyers. Monty Heikman, 28. Don Winstick, 18. And number 24, Terry O'Reilly for Boston.
Clark gets it back to Joe Watson, right back into the Boston Bruins zone, off the glass. Clark moves around Howard. In comes Westsink, getting a piece of it off to Howard. Clark there as Brad Clark takes Clark out. Ross Lonsbury tries to beat O'Reilly to it. In comes Howard. Clark frees it up. Control for Philadelphia. Tries to throw it in the slot, and Westsink is there for the Boston Bruins. Moves around Reggie Leach, back is Lonsbury, too far, and this will be icing when it's touched up by Joe Watson.
Boston Bruins are using mainly 4 defensemen with the odd shift, and Doug Howard, number 29, being sent in, but this is his first action tonight. We saw that against Toronto when Toronto went exclusively with Tommy Turnbull, Mike Pellick, and Randy Carlisle, and it seemed to wear down the Toronto foursome near the latter stages of the series. And I don't know if this will be the same case here with Boston, because they're used to a grind-em-out physical type game, and maybe they might be a little bit more stronger than Toronto. But that will only tell as this series progresses.
Flyers with 6 shots in this period. The Boston Bruins with 4. And Orest Kinderchuk, Jim Watson with the assist, but Paul Holmgren, parked right on Jerry Cheever's doorstep, had a lot to do with that goal too, Bob.
I'll say, you got those big guys camped all over you. It makes it tough for a goaltender to keep his concentration.
Whittel loses to Kelly. Oh, stands on the shot, can't get it off, taken down. And finally, it is Schmutz clearing the neutral ice, where it is Big Bob Daly for Philadelphia. Off to Bob Clark with the puck. Looks for Daly breaking. Stick handles around Ratzel. Off to Bob Kelly onside. Takes it into the Bruin zone. Looks for Clark breaking. In front. Cheevers. A stoppage. The play hangs on.
Bob Kelly is really playing with a lot of poise and confidence as far as his puck handling is concerned. He's usually, years past, I think this must be why he had such a great year this year. He used to get that puck, and then he used to throw it away quickly, not looking to see if there was an open man. But this year he didn't. He hung on to that puck, and he made the plays, and it has turned out his best year ever. And there was a good example of what he's been doing all year, hanging on to that puck, and then feeding it into the slot, and Cheevers had to cover up for a face-off.
Orest Kinderchuk to take the draw with John Ratzel. It is Bob Schmutz at right wing, and at left wing is Don Marcotte. Selesky and Bridgman. Bridgman playing left wing on this line. Selesky controls for Philadelphia, looks for Bridgman, throws it in on Jerry Cheevers, knocked down. Bridgman for Philadelphia. Selesky and Ratzel spun around. Smith clears but not out. No, Kinderchuk moves around. Ratzel loses to the Boston Bruins' Rick Smith. Here they come 3-on-3. To Schmutz over the line. Takes the 40-footer. Throws it in. Off the glass. Getting there first, Don Marcotte off the boards. Moose DuPont and Schmutz in a foot race. Schmutz almost gives it up and does to O'Kinderchuk. Kindrachuk skating away from John Ritzel. We'll be happy with a face-off there, and that's what we get.
Bill Bridgman and Don Selesky got a little bit mixed up there on which side of the rink they were supposed to play, who was playing the right side or the left side, and that's what constituted. There was no man on the left side there for the defenseman to fire the puck up there for a clearing pass. Had to hold on for a face-off. There you see a good shot of Freddie Sherrill, and his playoff record with the Flyers, 41 wins, 27 defeats. Not a bad coaching record with the money glasses.
And hopefully not another overtime game, Bob. Couldn't handle another one of those. Although we haven't done it yet. But just watching is tough enough.
That's hard in the old bumper, I'll tell you.
Cardiac Kids. Okay, Greg Shepard, number 19, will take the draw with Rick McLeish. Rick Middleton at right wing, and the right-handed shooter Wayne Cashman playing left wing for the Bruins. The defense pairing Doug Howard, 29, and number 25, Gary Doak. Dornhofer, Barber, McLeish, loses the draw. Howard throws it in, sticking and staying with it, goaltender Wayne Stevenson.
What an interesting matchup out here as Terry and Sherrill match lines. Gary Dornhofer playing on the right side, of course, with Rick McLeish, and Wayne Cashman on the left side with Craig Shepard, and both of them are the similar type players. Both of them like to take the body and grind it out. Who's going to wear down who first?
Middleton loses the handle. Joe Watson takes off Greg Shepard nicely. McLeish comes away with the puck. Caroms off the board to Tommy Bladen. He lofts it out nicely to neutralize. The foot race is on. Rick McLeish coming out Jerry Cheevers, and he hangs on. Face off in the Bruins zone.
Good play. I thought the point there that Tommy lifted up there, you know, you got a guy like Rick McLeish with such great wheels, he can get out there really fast, and that forces those defensemen to really hurry. And when you, any kind of defenseman, I don't care, if you're Larry Robinson, when you're forced and you're hurried, you're going to make mistakes.
12:17 to go in the middle period. One goal by Philadelphia. Horace Kindrachuk coming at the 5:35 mark. Flyers 2 and the Boston Bruins 1. Bob Kelly again on for Philadelphia. Holmgren will play right wing. Kelly left wing. Center iceman will be Horace Kindrachuk. John Wensink is number 18 for the Bruins. Taking the draw is Matty Hagman. Everybody starting to punch up. In comes referee Wally Harris to widen out the troops.
I could never figure out why forwards do that. They get right in on top there. You know, they're not going to get the puck any faster.
Kindrachuk would like to get it back to Daly. Controls, throws it into the corner. Holmgren spun off by Wensink, and away comes Howard. Too far for breaking Terry O'Reilly. Jimmy Watson knocks it down to Bob Kelly. Stick handles for Philadelphia. Throws it off the Paul Holmgren. Hooks it up. 35-footer. Goal!
A perfect shot by the big number 17. Took a good feed by Bob Kelly and just unloaded a shot that went in right inside the post. And believe me, I don't care who you are, you have to be plastic mad to get a shot like that. There it is right here. Kelly fighting off number 18 Wensink, who made the mistake by leaving his check to go into the middle. Holmgren unleashing a perfect shot. You see it right there. Bouncing in off the post past Beavers. Flyers leading 3-1.
Jimmy Watson with his second assist tonight for Paul Holmgren. His first point in Stanley Cup action. Daly knocks it off his skate to Gary Dornhofer. He takes it in deep. Throws it out in front. Nobody there for Philadelphia. McLeish controls again. Back into the corner. Dornhofer beats Tilbury to the puck. Avoids a check taken down by O'Reilly. Jimmy Watson can't find the handle. Bob Daly back for Philadelphia with Stan Jonathan. Goes to the backhand of Billy Barber. Knocks it into the corner. Around 2 Bruins. On top of Bob Daly. McLeish with the puck. Spots left winger Jimmy Watson. Will do it solo. Wrist shot. Great stick save by goaltender Jerry Cheevers. Flyers putting 4 people in the Boston zone. The Bruins coming 3-on-2. McNabb for O'Reilly. Can't find the handle. In front is Jonathan. He can't get a stick down. Dornhofer and Tilbury. Off to Jimmy Watson. To Rick McLeish. Bodies all over the place. McLeish one-on-one with Brad Park. Circle. Takes the shot. Hold. Taken off by Rick Smith. Tries to Dornhofer. Tripped up. Down the field. Looking the other way. Cheevers stick handles for Boston. Harris not a Philadelphia favorite. O'Reilly gives it away to Moose DuPont. Backhands it for Reggie Leach. Lonsbury has Leach breaking in the right wing. Foot races on. Off to Moose DuPont with Leach trailing. A rifle shot. Great save. Moose DuPont fans and hanging on goaltender Jerry Chevers.
What is sustained action by both teams, and these fans are giving up and giving them a standing ovation. It seems like as soon as the Boston Bruins got behind by 2, up came the body power, and they were trying to throw checks at everybody. They were very concerned with throwing a body check. They left their defense wide open, and there was 2-on-1, 3-on-2 breaks for the last 2 minutes, and that one there, Leach came up with a good shot on Chevers. The rebound came out, and the puck was bouncing, or else Moose DuPont would have had goal number 4.
3-1 Philadelphia. We are not even midway into the period, Bob.
Then we see another shot of that goal, Hugh. It's Kelly makes the fine pass over to number 17, Paul Holmgren, and Holmgren left wide open by his check, number 18, Winsink, who moved in to check the puck carrier, which is a cardinal sin when you have your both defensemen back, and Holmgren gets it to the top of the circle, lays a perfect shot on goalie Jerry Chevers, and it's 3-1 Philadelphia.
We have 10:40 to go in the middle period as Bob Clark will take the draw with John Rattel, and I'm sure you can hear "Let's go Flyers." Philadelphia out shooting the Bruins 21-12. We still have 10:40 to go in the period. Rick LaPointe controls for Philadelphia, throws it into the corner, spun around. Clark hustling to beat Rattel to the puck to Reggie Leach. Doesn't get much mustard on it. Here comes Moose DuPont. Throws it off to Bob Clark. Back to DuPont. Can't find it in his spots. Going wing to wing. Too far for a breaking Marcotte. LaPointe gets a piece of it to Brad Clark, to Rattel, spun off by LaPointe, to Lonsbury, and a good play back to neutral ice.
Rick LaPointe made a good defensive play also by taking out the Boston forward bodily, not worrying about the puck. He just took him out. There's a shot of number 11, Bobby Schmaltz, who was the big goal scorer for Boston in the series against Los Angeles.
9 goals in this is 8th game in this Stanley Cup playoffs. Clark and Rattel. Goes to Leach, comes back to Joe Watson as Bladen widens out. Stick handling is Joe Watson. Retreats from the forechecking of John Rattel off the board of Lonsbury to Reggie Leach. Backhands it into the zone as he takes a good hit from Doug Howard. Chevers drops it for Marcotte. Give away to Bob Clark. Tries to get out in front, but it's Brad Clark. Leach on him. Takes the puck away. Stick handles. Has Bladen clear at the right point. Can't get a stick down. To the line. Leach right there. Howard spun around by Clark. Lonsbury for Philadelphia. Back to Tom Bladen. Poked off his stick by Marcotte. Joe Watson calmly off the boards. Back into the Philadelphia zone, and I think we had a Bruin in the Philadelphia offensive zone.
That's the call. Offside at the blue line, and that play there, you heard a big roar when Tommy Blade missed that pass at the blue line. It was not his fault. He had to pull out at one stride in case the pass was intercepted. It's better when you've got a 2-goal lead to play a little bit more of a cautious game than it is when you're behind 2 goals where you have to gamble. At certain point, he didn't have to gamble, and then he just couldn't reach the puck quite enough to keep it inside the zone. But a good play on his part.
McLeish, but it's knocked down by Mike Milbury. Gets to the red line, almost ridden off by Rick McLeish. Stevenson gets his stick on it to Jimmy Watson. In comes Greg Shepard along with Wayne Cashman. Bruins sending 3 forwards into the Philadelphia zone. Daly beats Wensink to the puck to Rick McLeish behind Rick Smith. And he'll beat Billy Barber to the puck in the Bruin zone. That one goes into the seats. Face-off will be back in the Boston zone.
Bobby Clark's having an excellent night as far as face-offs are concerned. He's won 17 so far in this game, and that is one of the main reasons why Philadelphia is up 3-1. There you see Coach Don Cherry's record. He's 10-11 in 2 playoff seasons with Boston.
Into the corner. Off the stick of goaltender Jerry Chevers. Off to Rick Smith. Forechecking for Philadelphia is Paul Holmgren. Knocked down deep in the Philadelphia zone by Daly. Glove handed by Cashman as Holmgren is right there for Philadelphia. And we'll have a face-off right on the blue line as Cashman and Holmgren just look at each other.
Wayne Cashman, what a performer. He's hated in other rinks as much as Gary Dornhofer is hated outside of Philadelphia. And then when you get to Boston, he's loved as much as Dornhofer is loved here in Philadelphia.
And the human elbow is now back on the ice, replacing Paul Holmgren. As Greg Shepard loses the draw to Rick McLeish. Hustling back as Rick Smith, as Milbury screens off Rick McLeish. Shepard with the puck as Moose DuPont comes deep into the Boston zone. Shepard spins away with the puck. Moose DuPont back checking nicely for Philadelphia. Takes Shepard over the line. Wayne Cashman pulls up and drops it back for Rick Smith. 8:35 to go in the middle period. Into the Philadelphia zone. Knocked down by Wayne Stevenson. DuPont goes off the board. Barber leaves it go, and icing will be the call when it's touched up by Mike Milbury.
Philadelphia's taken a page out of the Boston Bruins notebook by trying to get that puck and clear it out as quickly as possible, not allowing the very good forechecking Bruins to get in on top of them. Of course, what helps is this, is that the forwards are coming back very well on top of Boston, allowing the defense to stand up, and then once the puck is shot in, the defense are getting back up there and moving it up very quickly. Very see some Philly games coming up here on Prism in May. San Diego the 13th, the Dodgers 17th and 18th, and the 31st, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And we have an interesting scoreboard shot, if we can only get it, Bobby. Islanders in Montreal at the end of 2, scoreless.
One would have to think that the goaltending there is keeping that score down.
Moose DuPont with O'Reilly on him. McNabb throws it back into the corner. In comes Oris Kinderchuk, but it comes free to Moose DuPont. Looks for Don Selesky. Flyers can come out 3-on-2, but the Bruins have almost all 5 black shirts in the Philadelphia zone. Knocked down by Gary Doak. He is paired with Doug Howard. Howard, number 29 with the helmet. Pops it up to Jonathan. Throws it onto the glove hand of Kinderchuk offside as O'Reilly was over the line.
Very close. What happened there is O'Reilly only had one leg down on the ice at the time. The leg that he did have down was the one that was inside the Flyers' goal. Here's the play right here as the puck is knocked down by number 8, McNabb. There it is. Oh, I don't know. It's very close. His left leg wasn't really completely over.
Into the corner goes Joe Watson. Knocks down the rolling puck. Off to Bob Kelly. To Kinderchuk to neutral ice. Nicely back to Bob Kelly. To Kinderchuk, who is set up by McNabb to O'Reilly. Joe Watson spins off O'Reilly. Stick handles for Philadelphia. Moves right around O'Reilly's check. The Flyers have 5 people up. Into the zone. In on goaltender Cheevers. To Stan Jonathan. Gives away to Oris Kinderchuk. Looks to Tom Blayton. 50-footer. Deflected. Kelly falling down. Picks up the loose puck. Turnaround. Underneath. Kinderchuk comes back to Joe Watson. Through a scramble. Deflected. Kelly looking for the loose handle. Shot. Shot again. Goes wide. Kinderchuk controls. Howard on Kinderchuk. Moves around O'Reilly. Moves around Gary Doak. Kinderchuk pinned into the corner, and Wally Harris says face-off in the Boston zone.
What pressure by Philadelphia, especially by the Kinderchuk, Holmgren, and Kelly line. They've been coming on like gangbusters in this second period, and you see Jerry Cheevers taking that mask off to get somewhat of a breather. And you know, a lot of times, even though there's no shots being put down on the goaltender, it's just as tiring because you're trying to wondering when it's going to come. There's a stick getting up high on Cheevers. And he had to come up with a couple of screen shades here. Now here's where the thing is bouncing all over the place. The action is furious in front, but no shots are getting through. And the anticipation of that big shot just will wear out a goaltender as much as the actual shot itself.
7:05 to go in the middle period. Philadelphia 3 and the dark-shirted Boston Bruins 1. The Clark line on for Philadelphia as Freddie Sherrill, for some reason, I think, with a chance to give his big line a bit of a breather. Reggie Leach, Bob Clark, and Ross Lansbury. Clark looks for the handle, falls down, hustling for the puck is Brad Clark, the all-star defenseman. Almost kept in the zone, and is by Reggie Leach, but it jumps over Kelly's stick. This will be icing when it's touched up by Jimmy Watson.
Flyers are doing a good job of pitching in on the Boston forwards. The Boston Wingers are up high along the boards, and Philadelphia is just moving their defense in and taking away that outlet pass and forcing the Bruins to have trouble getting out of their zone. If you've been wondering why the man that scored the overtime winning goal for Boston hasn't been out on the ice, it's because of Rick Middleton, of course. He's been out for the rest of the game with a pulled hip muscle. So Boston's skating with a man less.
Mike Milbury behind goaltender Jerry Cheevers as the Bruins try to get organized and set up. Nicely onto the stick of Shepard. Headman to the boards. Back is Daly, and he got a piece of it. Bob Daly's face, and I don't think Daly took too kindly to that. Intercepted by Lonsbury. Tries to hit Reggie Leach. Back comes John Ruttell. Daly off the left wing board to no one in particular. Brad Clark gives it away. Jimmy Watson. Oh!
There's a delayed offside call there when the puck was shot in initially. Bobby Clark was caught up along the boards near the Flyers bench. And it was a delayed call, and of course on a delayed offside, the defensive team gets the opportunity to get it out of the blue line zone to their zone before the other team touches it. That time Boston didn't, so the offside or delayed offside was whistled down. Dave Forbes, I think, was just pure frustration. He didn't realize how long a reach that Bob Daly had when he was trying to get a good shot away. Daly's big, long stick came in there and knocked it away.
The Boston Bruins, Doug Howard throws it back into the Philadelphia zone. Stevenson leaves it go for Rick LaPointe. Almost gives it away to Cashman. It does. Out in front. Taking up score. Great Shepard, and it's 3-2. Philadelphia slow to cover. It's a brand new hockey game with just a little under 6 minutes to go in the period.
Lack of communication there. When the goaltender goes out to stop the puck, the other player should see who's coming along behind there. In that case there, one of the defensemen, either Dupont or LaPointe, should have yelled at Stevenson to say that Cashman was coming in. Stevenson would have cleared the puck away from him, but he didn't. Nobody said anything, and then Cashman picked up the puck. Shepard's left wide open in the slot. In it goes. 3-2 game.
So it's 3-2 with 5:53 to go in the period. All that pressure and all that force by Philadelphia with one cough up, and it's 3-2. I said ninth, that's Greg Shepard's fourth. Knocked down by Howard. Howard comes behind goaltender Jerry Cheever. Rick McLeish forechecking deep for Philadelphia. Tommy Bladen keeps it in the Boston zone, but loses the handle. Goes back to Dornhofer, tees it up, deflection. Oh, it's Rick McLeish trying to knock one home. Taken down. Wally Harris right there. Dornhofer right into Howard to recontrol. Tries to throw it out. The puck is beneath Dornhofer, and they jumped off the glass and then down into the seats.
I think so. Dornhofer made a pretty good check on number 22, Ryan Paulworth, and he's been out playing a lot more this second period than he did. You see this goal again, and this is the importance of communication. There you see right there, that's what after Cashman had picked it up. There's Shepard all alone. Both defensemen are caught behind the net. They have to have that centerman in front to do the checking on there to make sure that nothing like that, something like that doesn't happen. In that case, nobody was there. Shepard all alone, bang, 3-2.
5:30 to go in the middle period. Peter McNabb will take the draw with Rick McLeish. Throws it into the corner where Mike Milbury with McLeish on him. Here comes Paul Holmgren. Sticks down, and Bladen tees it up. Off the stick of McNabb. Goes to Holmgren. Second shot. In front. And finally, it is Billy Barber coming away. Tries to throw it out in front. Stood up by Gary Duke. And it is Peter McNabb at center ice. Barber back checking for Philadelphia. Bladen into the corner, but Milbury will get there first. Along with Terry O'Reilly. Spun away. McNabb. Scores! 3-3 hockey game. 2 giveaways and with Paul Motter.
Philadelphia is being very, very sloppy in their zone. Nobody's really staying in their position. They're hesitating. With that puck shot in with the defenseman standing up on the blue line, the wingers have to go back and pick up that puck. Nobody has done that so far in the last 3 or 4 minutes, and that's why this game is tied up. We pick it up here, the puck's going around. There you see 3 Flyers in there. All alone is Peter McNabb behind the net. Matty Hagman standing there, nobody checking it. The pass comes out, bang, it's in the net before you know it. You can't be mesmerized by that puck. You have to look around for your check.
Mike Milbury picking up his first ever Stanley Cup goal, and it is 3-3. Comes off the big Bob Daly. Gets to the red line, pumps it into the Boston Bruins zone. Little over 4 minutes to go. McLeish to Dornhofer. Checked in by Moose Dupont. Throws it into the corner to McLeish. Dornhofer is through. Shot! Score! Dornhofer's first point of the playoffs.
What a time to get it. To put the Flyers on top again by the scoop of 4-3. Here it is, Ricky McLeish. All alone out the slot is Gary Dornhofer, and he just lets a low bullet go by Jerry Cheevers into the short side. Flyers lead it again. And Boston is guilty itself of standing around being mesmerized by the puck. Nobody picked up Gary Dornhofer. You have to pick up your check inside that defensive zone. Flyers guilty of it twice. Dawson guilty of it this time.
Gary Dornhofer scoring for the Flyers to assist Rick McLeish and Andre Dupont.
Knocked down by Moose DuPont to Ross Lonsbury. Wally Harris is almost buried. The puck is beneath him, and Harris says, let's have a face-off here in neutral ice. Schwartz and DuPont pushing, but I don't think anything's going to develop there. 4:30 to go as Philadelphia scored 15 seconds after the Bruins knotted it. Gary Dornhofer getting his first goal.
Here's a replay again of that goal by Gary Dornhofer. McClish just wasting no time and spied Dornhofer all alone prior to getting that puck. He lets that low shot go by Cheevers, and that's what we talked about at the start of the game. When a guy like Cheevers is moving out like that and cut the angle, you have to shoot the puck low because it's tough to move when you're moving out.
5 goals in this middle period. And it is a 4-3 hockey game. Off to Rick Smith, gets to the red line, onside, Patel closes, shot, score, it's 4-4. Jeez, and crackers, what a game.
This is a game of mistakes. Both teams are really good position-wise. There's a play right there. Both defensemen getting caught hanging up the blue line. Don Rattel coming in with a perfect shot, beating Wayne Stevenson. This game's tied up again.
We have just had 3 goals in 39 seconds. I'm hoping that Superstats Billy Wendell can tell us what kind of record this might be. Clark, too far for Lonsbury. Caught up by Rick Smith. We have 4 minutes to go in the middle period. Off the boards for Schmaltz. Clark can't keep it in. Bruins coming 2-on-1. Patel, the forwards, holding. Great play by Jimmy Watson, and he hangs on. We're going to have a face-off and no penalty. The Bruins almost came back. Oh, is anybody playing defense?
Can't believe it right now. Both teams are pride themselves in their positional play, and smart hockey are making mistake after mistake. It's not a. Here was a very dangerous play, but word for Jimmy Watson, this game could have been 5-4 for Boston.
It is anybody's hockey game at the moment. Certainly enough giveaways to last the season for both head coaches Fred Sherrill and Sherry for the Bruins. Here it comes on that breakaway. I didn't pick up the assist. It was Rick Smith, I think.
Yeah, he got a perfect pass to Sean Rattel, and in it goes. The fastest 3 goals by both teams was 38 seconds when Toronto and Montreal.
That ties it, Bobby.
Clashed in 1965. Montreal was in Toronto.
Bruce in front, knocked out by Billy Barber. The Bruins applying a lot of pressure. Marcotte in front, standing on it was Greg Shepard. Wayne Cashman takes a good hit from McLeish. Off to Billy Barber. Off to Tommy Blake. Lofts it out to Rick McLeish. The foot race is on. Hustling back is Mike Milbury. 3:35 to go in the period. Milbury loses it to Moose DuPont. To Dornhofer. Can't get a stick down. McLeish. Marcotte gets there first. Back to Dornhofer. Through a screen into the corner to Billy Barber. Off the boards to Dornhofer. He should beat Marcotte to the puck and does. Looks for Barber. On the too hot for him. Cashman as Moose DuPont has to back up. The Bruins coming 3-on-3 and certainly what has turned into be a wide open game. Dornhofer on Cashman. Intercepted by DuPont. Goes into the zone and takes a good hit from Marcotte. Fresh DuPont for Philadelphia. Milbury flying down the right wing. Flyers in somewhat of a slow line change. Kindrachuk loses to Jimmy Watson. Headmans it to Kindrachuk. Off the boards, Kindrachuk stick handles for Philadelphia to Jimmy Watson. Backhands it into the Bruins zone as Dornhofer gives way to Selesky. Milbury pulls up and will start the rush in the Bruins zone. Tries to clear to Wayne Cashman and does. Headmans it to McNabb. Throws it into the Philadelphia zone. 2:35 and counting. Great off the boards for Jimmy Watson. Here we go. Daly and Wayne Cashman.
Big Daly and Cashman going at it. That's the first time I've seen Cashman. They're really going at it.
The big guy.
Cashman has gone skating around throughout the period there, the last 3 or 4 minutes, threatening everybody that came by him. And Bob Daly took him up on the threat.
The first time I saw the big guy go, and we knew it would have to explode. It's been that kind of game.
shot of Cashman. Well, I think he's trying to set some fire under his team to get this game going, keep them going in here. And there's Big Bob Daly going over the penalty box.
Well, the way the bodies were starting to fly around, you would think this would have happened sooner or later as O'Reilly comes on for the Boston Bruins.
Definitely. I'm surprised that there hasn't been more fights, really. Both these teams play such a tough style, and they'd like to take the body, and when a lot of body checks occur, you know, the odd time the stick will get up and high, and it'll hit somebody the wrong way, and then down go the gloves, and away go the fists. But it's been relatively quiet, and there's Cashman and Selesky, and O'Reilly's over there. Everybody's over there now, and what's going on here?
Here we got a lot of folks coming off the bench. Let's see if Wally Harris can keep this thing squared away from turning into a full-scale roar, as we say.
Cashman doing a good job of instigating a lot. Now Jerry Cheever should stay back in the goal because he's coming out of the goal. That can constitute a 2-minute minor.
Cheever's indicating to the bench he just wants the water bottle.
I know, but he has no intention of getting out into that fracas, which is over by the penalty box. But you can't leave your goal crease when there is a schmozzle going on, as you could say. There it is, Daly going there. Just glancing left here. It looks like the big guy's a left-hander. That would
probably
throw a lot of problems. Oh,
surprise the heck out of Cashman, especially as a right-handed shooter.
And Cashman throws him with the left too.
And the square penalty number 2, Bob Daly, each 5 minutes for fighting. County penalty, 17 minutes and 29 seconds. Wayne Cashman of Boston, Bob Daly of the Flyers, each 5 minutes for fighting.
Well, they get 5 minutes, 2:31 in this period, and 2:29 to start the third period, as that is the extent of it at the moment. Flyers had moved out to what we thought was a commanding 3-1 lead, only to have Shepard and Milbury score within a minute. Dornhofer 15 seconds later, Rattel 23 seconds later to make a grand total of 3 goals in 38 seconds to tie a National Hockey League record if our stats are right. We'll know officially at the end of this period.
Well, 38 seconds is a record, like I said earlier, Hugh, between Montreal and Toronto. And if your calculations is right without your computer, we could have tied the record.
I thought Bobby early on in that middle period when Philadelphia really was just taking the game away from the Bruins and for some strange reason decided not to communicate, as you indicated on that one goal, an easy giveaway, and then the Bruins forced Philadelphia to another error and tied it at 3. Dornhofer quickly got it back. Then Rattel sent in on a breakaway to give the Bruins the tie.
You know, that's something that should not happen in playoff hockey. Mental mistakes like that. I mean, you can see maybe 1 or 2 mistakes, but not that many mistakes that have occurred by both teams here. Flyers making 3 real glaring errors in their zone, which you don't see Philadelphia make 3 errors like that in a whole game, let alone inside of 30 seconds or 40 seconds. And of course, Boston, on the other hand, also made mistakes. And both teams are very strong in their own end usually, but not tonight, not in this second period.
Not at all. Okay, the draw will be in the Philadelphia zone where Bob Clark will take it with John Rattel. Clark gets a piece of it off to Tom Blade. He spins around Forbes, tries the head man at the Reggie Leach, and it goes to Bob Clark. Gets to the red line, and it goes into the Bruins zone with the back-checking Rattel. Throws it in on goaltender Wayne Stevenson. It will die, and the icing is taken off as it's moved DuPont, pulling up behind Stevenson. Looks for Clark in the slot. Off the right wing for Reggie Leach. Foot races on. Out comes Jerry Cheevers, and he hangs on. Oh, he lost sight of it. Finally gloved it. Face-off, exactly where Philadelphia wants it in the Bruins zone.
Boy, I'll tell you, if I was in the net there and I saw Reggie Leach coming down on me at full speed, I sure in heck get out there and freeze that puck as quickly as possible. Who would want that big guy coming down and unleashing a blister at him?
Bob Clark looking for some extra wind now as John Rattel will take the draw. At the left of goaltender Jerry Cheevers. Flyers out shooting Boston at this stage of the game, 25-16. The Bruins with 9 in this period. Philadelphia with 14. But it's still 4-4. Rattel and Clark would like to get it back to Bladen. Or Leach comes back to Bladen, leaves it go off the board, through a screen, knocked down nicely by Mike Milbury. Off to John Rattel to Don Marcotte. The Bruins coming 3-on-3. Marcotte takes Moose DuPont wide. In front is Rattel, and it goes into the corner. But finally, it's Rattel pushing it into the corner where Bob Clark will get there first. Goes hard up the board to Ross Lonsbury. Lonsbury goes back off the boards to Reggie Leach. Leach backhands to Clark, and it comes free to neutral ice. The clock is stuck at 2:08. Wally Harris can't see it. And finally, one of the linesmen, I think, blew the whistle, Bob.
I think so. That's what the big call was. That I don't know if it was a technical malfunction or else if the scorekeeper, the timekeeper in the penalty box was just so wrapped up in this game he forgot to turn it back on.
The minor officials, I might add, are not from Philadelphia but from Atlanta. They were from Washington in the first quarter final round. Here in the semifinals from Atlanta.
Man, what a list of highlights to be seen at the start of the intermission. All those goals.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to put up. Well, the one good sign anyway, a lot of people who were kept scoreless through the first 7 games, Moose DuPont, Gary Dornhofer, and young rookie Paul Holmgren all scored their first goal, first points, I might add. Only the Bird is looking for his first point.
Some main movies on Prism, of course, leading off The Godfather Part 2 and Silent Movie, another Mel Brooks flick. And I'll tell you, I saw the previews to that show, and I can't help but crack up every time I see it.
My man's Marty Feldman, anyway.
Oh, even the wacky eyes. And W.C. Fields and Me. Excellent movies here on Prism in the month of May. There's a great scene in that Silent Movie, boy, when you see them on the merry-go-round that I will not reveal, but every time I see that man alive, I just have factiously. There you see, the clock was stuck at 2:08. Now they've moved it down to 1:45 left in the second period. Seems to have satisfied both teams, and now play will resume.
And every time the Bruins have been down, they've been able to fight back. Clark gets it to Joe Watson, tries to move around Rattel, and headman it to Bob Clark. He fans on it. Rattel picks it off for Boston. Back is Reggie Leach, and Rattel throws it into the Philadelphia zone where it's Ross Lonsbury back checking and beats Marcotte to the puck. Throws it away to Joe Watson if he can only see Clark breaking, and it does come to Clark. Tries to go wing to wing. It is loose. Fanning on it was Marcotte. Comes off to right winger Bobby Schmott. With Lonsbury all over him, drops it off for Rick Smith. Joe Watson right there, but does get a piece of Bobby Schmott. Jimmy Watson and John Rattel. Throws it wide. There's Reggie Leach to beat Marcotte to it. Throws it off the board. Goes to Ross Lonsbury. He gets it back to neutral ice. Clark intercepts for Boston. Offside. Face-off in neutral ice as Rattel was trapped.
With that break in the action here, well, they fixed up the clock there. The pace has slowed considerably. Of course, it's getting down to that time when nobody wants to get scored on in the final minute of the period. 1:04 to be exact that's left in this second period, and both teams now will be checking. They've made numerous mistakes this second period. They'll be very conscious of that in the intermission.
Couple of 19s with Tom Bladen with the puck for Philadelphia. Backhands to Moose DuPont, intercepted by Greg Shepard. Backhands it into the Philadelphia zone. Hustling for it is Moose DuPont for Philadelphia. Beats Stan Jonathan to it. Goes off to Gary Dornhofer. Flyers can come out 3-on-3. Too high for Gary Dornhofer. Intercepted by Barber. Spun around nicely by Milbury. Shepard for Boston. Down the left wing. Dornhofer draped on him. Barber takes down Stan Jonathan. Throws it and turns back into the Boston zone. 35 and counting. As Gary Doak is back quickly for the Boston Bruins. Rick McLeish. Forechecking for Philadelphia. Dornhofer stands up and Bladen throws it right back into the Boston zone. Foot races on, but it's Jerry Cheevers for Mike Milbury. Backhands it. Bladen tries to beat Stan Jonathan to it. Takes down Jonathan, and away comes Greg Shepard. Goes wing to wing onto McLeish's stick. Flyers starting to look a little flat here. Barber has the puck, and it's a two-line pass I do believe.
I think both teams, especially Philadelphia, are being very, very cautious. There we see a shot of Billy Barber that really hasn't been heard of too much this period, or pardon me, this playoffs this year. He's had knee problems and trouble getting untracked.
Barber, usually one of the playoff leaders for Philadelphia, especially with assists and goals. Coming into tonight's game, Billy Barber had 19. We have 12 seconds to go. Brad Park with the puck, lofts it into the Philadelphia zone. There is Jimmy Watson behind goaltender Wayne Stevenson. Tries to clear out, knocked down by Kinderchuk. Zaleski breaking, but poked away by Park, and down goes Horace Kinderchuk. That's the end of the period with the score. Philadelphia 4 and the Boston Bruins 4.
What a period it was.
Bob Clark, and poked into the zone nicely by defenseman Gary Doak. Joe Watson behind goaltender Wayne Stevenson. Clayton to Clark, to Reggie Leach, everybody on side. Back into the Bruins zone, and on goaltender Jerry Cheevers, and he hangs on with Clark right down the slot.
And Jerry Cheevers getting that stick up, making sure that Clark doesn't bowl him over, and the snow was blowing right down, and I think that he imagined he would, he liked that welcome shot of cold snow to cool off that body.
Well, you saw that, I guess, the friendly tap he gave Bob Clark.
There you see a score. There. In the third, Montreal's taking a 2-0 lead on the Island.
Clark and Rattel knocked down. It is Reggie Leach trying to get a handle on it. Backhands it to Bob Clark. Jumps over his stick. Milbury right there. Clark takes Milbury into the corner. They'd be happy with a face-off, and that's what they get.
Mike Milbury. He's born in Brighton, Massachusetts, which is a Boston suburb, and what you say would be the hometown boy makes good, eh, Hugh?
Yeah, and actually went to Cornell, I think, Bobby, on a Colgate on a football scholarship. Clark to take the draw with Rattel. Fans on it. Leach gets a piece of it. It's beneath him, but away comes John Rattel. The Bruins coming 3-on-3. Clark back checking. Over the line. Swept into the corner by Jimmy Watson. Tries to get a stick on it. Out in front to Ross Lonsbury. Pulls away from the check of Bob Schmaltz and drops it off for Bob Clark in a near giveaway. Clark controls. Has Moose DuPont free on the off wing for him. He and Lonsbury going 2-on-2 over the line. Looks for a breaking winger. Oh, good play by the back-checking Don Marcotte. The Bruins coming 3-on-2 over the line. Shot partially deflected as Dornhofer got a piece of it. Rick McLeish passes it off the boards to himself. Looks for Bill Barber with Dornhofer trailing. Throws it in. High off the glass. There is Brad Park for the Bruins. Backhands it out the neutral ice where it's Tom Blayton right at the red line. Quickly back into the Bruins zone. Gloved by Brad Park. Dornhofer on him. Off to Rick Smith to Terry O'Reilly. 2-on-2. Shot. Whistles wide. McLeish is there first and controls for Philadelphia. Barber is free on the left wing. Over the line. Takes it in past Park. Holds up. Almost tripped up. Park does get a piece of him. Back off the boards to Dornhofer. Back to Billy Barber. Throws it back to Dornhofer. Lost his stick. Back to Dornhofer as Milbury takes Dornhofer out of the play. In comes Barber, in comes Stan Jonathan. Puck is kicked out. McLeish right there. Barber and Stan Jonathan tucking it against the boards. Barber backs away. Jonathan off to Mike Milbury. Barber trying to poke away. In on Milbury, Jonathan comes in. And finally, Wally Harris says, let's have a face-off.
Believe me, Wally Harris has really got the crowd incensed here, and I think he even has both coaches upset a little bit. But that puck was moving. Mike Milbury kept it moving, and that's what the rule states. As long as that puck's moving, then the whistle should not be blowing.
Boy, for a young fellow, just his first full year in the National Hockey League, he performed so well as the Boston Bruins defensive corps was depleted last year, and also played for Team USA here in the Canada Cup Series. Paul Holmgren is paired at right wing with Billy Barber at left wing. Rick McLeish, center ice, will take the draw with Greg Shepard. We have played 2 minutes and 1 second into this third period. Shepard will take the draw, 2/19. Leon Stickle getting a little bit of heat over there from both clubs.
Both players have to have their sticks on the ice before the puck is dropped and ready for in position, and that's why a lot of guys get thrown out of that face-off circle.
McLeish gets a piece of it, so does Mike Milbury, and Shepard clears, but it's Moose DuPont as Holmgren skates go over the line, face-off just inside the neutral ice area at the red dot.
You know, we talked about Mike Milbury playing football or being recruited by Colgate. There's a couple of pretty mean guys in NFL played there, too. Marv Hubbard and Mark Van Eegen from Oakland. So he could have been a teammate of them in the pro football ranks if he had not chose hockey.
Clark and Shepard as the sellout crowd comes alive. Knocked down by Milbury, goes off to Gary Doak. He widens out on the stick of Shepard, moves past Jimmy Watson to Holmgren. Holmgren comes back to Moose DuPont. Over Jimmy Watson's stick. No icing, it's waved off as it is Gary Doak trying to screen off Billy Barber. Barber gets a piece of the puck from Milbury, kicked into the corner. Down goes Doak, off to Stan Jonathan, the length of the ice, and this will be icing as soon as it's touched by Jimmy Watson.
That's what I say. Gary Doak is the all-time clutch and grab king of the National Hockey League. No matter where that puck is, he always is trying to get a piece of somebody, try to impede their progress into the offensive zone for them, defensive zone for him. And it infuriates a lot of people and a lot of fans because it is just borderline on interference. Gary Doak was also second time with the Bruins, but the first time he was on their Stanley Cup team. Back in 1970-71, I believe.
Mel Bridgman, who has been little used in tonight's game, will play the left wing position as Paul Holmgren will take the draw with Greg Shepard. Hopes to get it back to either Bladen or Rick McLeish, who is at the right point. Holmgren gets a piece of it right onto the stick of Milbury. In on him, Paul Holmgren tries to ride Milbury off, gets a piece of it. In comes Mel Bridgman. Off the boards, back to Mel Bridgman, controls in the face-off circle. To Rick McLeish, over his stick. Here come the Bruins, 2-on-2. That is Don Marcotte. 4-on-2, really, as Joe Watson stands up Wayne Cashman. Almost a giveaway there, but it is Rick McLeish headmanning it to Paul Holmgren. Knocked down, still in the Boston zone. Marcotte clears onto the stick of Tom Bladen. Bladen goes back off the boards, right onto the stick of Rick Smith. Headmans it to McNabb into the Philadelphia zone, where it's Joe Watson as the Flyers making a slow line change. Off the boards nicely to Mel Bridgman. If he can get it to Selesky, they're in good shape. The icing is waved off as Cheevers gets a stick on it. Off for Rick Smith. Pulls up with Kindrachuk forechecking for Philadelphia. Bridgman still at left wing. Center ice to McNabb. Knocked down nicely by Selesky. Still in the Boston Bruins zone by Bridgman. Throws it for Kindrachuk. Selesky in front. Shot. Great save. Selesky can't get a stick down. Moose DuPont gets a piece of it. Still keeps it in the Boston zone, but it is Cashman freeing it up. Kindrachuk comes back to Jimmy Watson. Bridgman is free on the left wing. Into Don Selesky. Knocked down nicely by Brad Clark. Bridgman gets a piece of it. Kindrachuk is free. Goes to Selesky. 1-on-2. Over the line. Drops it off. Does not hold. Ridden off. And finally, it's Brad Clark picking it up for Boston. Here come the Bruins 3-on-3. Flying pass to the right wing. Knocked down by Jimmy Watson. Back into the Bruins zone. Cheevers will throw it into the corner. Kelly hustling for Philadelphia as Marcotte and Kindrachuk. Right there, Bob Kelly looking for the handle. Knocked out by the Boston Bruins. Moose DuPont waits till everybody's onside. Drops it off for Selesky. Knocked down nicely by Rick Smith. Spun around by Bob Kelly. Kindrachuk onside. Has Selesky free in front, but can't get the pass to him. Selesky and Rick Smith with Bob Kelly right there for Philadelphia. Selesky tries to dig it free to Bob Kelly. Thrown out in front, and it is Marcotte sending it the length of the ice. This will be icing.
Good play, good pressure. And I'll tell you, this line, Kelly, Kindrachuk, and Selesky, and the odd time Paul Holmgren in there, have really done a magnificent job of keeping sustained pressure on the Bruins. And for my money, I can't understand why they don't play him that line a lot more. They're constantly raising havoc inside that defensive zone. That one play there when Kindrachuk got the puck along the boards there, Rattel made a good play by hooking the puck away from, or his stick away from him, not allowing Kindrachuk to get the wide open Selesky in front of the net. So it wasn't the fact that Kindrachuk couldn't control the puck. Rattel made the defensive play on him.
The Flyers have been able to muster but 2 shots. The Bruins none here in the final period. Clark and John Rattel to take the draw. Clark gets a piece of it onto the stick of Mike Milbury. He retreats behind goaltender Jerry Cheevers as the Bruins fan out. 3 forwards in the Boston Bruins zone. Man, this one goes off the boards. The foot race is on. Jimmy Watson back for Philadelphia. Out in front, knocked down, almost a giveaway. Forbes tried to tee it up. The Flyers continue to play giveaway, Bob.
Oh, that's a dangerous pass at any time, even when the guy's wide open. But that time there, it was a blind pass.
Clark continues to hustle for the puck. Forbes in a foot race with Reggie Leach in controls, but ridden off nicely by the back-checking Ross Lonsbury. Leach retreats deep into the Philadelphia zone as things are a bit nervous here for the Flyers. Drops it off for Ross Lonsbury as Rattel is forechecking for the Bruins. Forbes intercepts, poked away. Milbury tries to throw it in on Stevenson, gets a piece of it to Jimmy Watson. Watson tries to throw it off the boards and does nicely to Bob Daly. The Flyers finally can get out of their own zone as they make a slow line change. Knocked down by Gary Doak. As the lone forechecker for Philadelphia is Billy Barber. Forbes down the left wing into the Philadelphia zone where the Bruins make a line change. Moose DuPont takes it behind goal, almost coughs it up. In comes Rick McLeish along with Forbes, and Wally Harris just lets have a face-off in the Philadelphia zone.
Wise thing to do, as Gary Ennis reiterated said in between the second and third period, that whenever you're unsure of that where your players are, you have to freeze a puck or just dump it out of the offensive zone so that the other team won't get a good opportunity to take the puck away from you and get a good shot on goal.
We have played 6 minutes into the third period. And encroachment into that face-off circle. Linesman Gerard Gauthier will drop it between Rick McLeish and Greg Shepard again.
Cashman and DuPont were the ones that were caught inside the circle.
DuPont knocks it off the boards for Tom Bladen. Greg Shepard on him. Good play by Bladen to get some of the heat off. The forechecking of Shepard off the Moose DuPont. They're steal away from Cashman to Rick McLeish. The Flyers man out 3-on-3. McLeish backhands it to Billy Barber with Brad Park right there. Barber into the corner. Also is Rick Smith. In deep comes Moose DuPont. Throws it in front. Knocked down by the stick of Brad Park. Intercepted by Dornhofer. Tees it up off the pad of goaltender Jerry Cheevers. Back to Gary Dornhofer. Then McLeish kicks it out. Back to McLeish. To Dornhofer. Brad Park right there. Flyers trying to widen out to Billy Barber. Dornhofer in front. Has to hustle wide. Now by goaltender Cheevers. Intercepted by Barber. Shot. Stick save by goaltender Jerry Cheevers. McLeish is in front. Barber fakes the shot and Cashman comes away. The Bruins 3-on-2. Shepard with Marcotte, Straley, and Cashman shot. Great play by Rick McLeish. Stop checking to intercept that shot.
And this game hasn't slowed down one bit.
Joe Watson for Philadelphia over skates. Bridgman onside. Good play by Joe Watson. He is pinned by Gary Doak. In comes Paul Holmgren. Milbury comes away. Beats the check of Bill Bridgman. Headmans to the Cashman. One-on-one. Pulls up around Horace Kinderchuk. Intercepted by Joe Watson. Off the board for Holmgren. He can come out solo, but decides to pull it back down. It's the breaking old Kinderchuk, but it's Milbury getting a piece of it. End-to-end action here in the final, let's say, third period, at least at the moment. Joe Watson backhands it to Big Bob Daly. Swiftly, old Kinderchuk has Bridgman on the left wing, 3-on-3. Over the line, swept away, and finally cleared out. Good play by Jimmy Watson, intercept. Everybody onside. Philadelphia goes into the corner, takes a good check from O'Reilly. Brad Park with the puck for Boston. Park slowly out of the Boston Bruins zone. Gets to the red line, onto the stick of Reggie Leach. Goes wing to wing. Hustling is Mel Bridgman, but it is Mike Milbury reading the play very well. Off to Terry O'Reilly. It comes back to Milbury. Clark on for Philadelphia. Headman was Milbury. Moose DuPont. Good play there to Reggie Leach. The Flyers can come up the right wing. Looks for Bob Clark. Too hot for Clark. Over the line. Back is Rick Smith. Backhanding. Good play by Luntz. Oh!
Just failed to keep that puck in at the blue line, and end-to-end rush is going on right here. Both teams taking that body still heavily, and you know, that's the thing that amazes me about these two teams. Both of them love to take the body, and they do it constantly for 60 minutes, where you'd think by, you know, the middle of the third period that they'd be tired out, but not so.
Rattel, Schmatz, and Marcotte. The line for the, make that Forbes has moved up to the left wing. Plays a considerable amount of right wing. Don't know what the problem is with Don Marcotte. Still on the bench. Lonsbury gets a piece of it, pumps it into the Bruin zone. Gary Doak has a hold of Bob Clark's stick. Back behind goaltender Jerry Cheevers is Rick Smith. Bladen screens off Forbes. This will be icing when it's touched by none other than Moose DuPont.
Wally Harris has really not called any interference at all in this game, and you can just see it from the start of the game to this time in this third period that the interference that both teams are putting on each other has really become blatant, and it's a wonder that he hasn't really called any of it because it's very, very obvious. There we see Jean Rattel.
Classy guy, two-time winner of the Lady Byng Trophy for sportsmanship.
Not only is he a classy guy, but he's a heck of a hockey player.
Clark tries to get a piece of it, intercepted by Rick Smith. Lonsbury is there first for Philadelphia. Clark is in the slot, goes over Cheever's head. Forbes is there and beats Bladen to it. He can't keep it in the zone, but it's Reggie Leach again picking off for Philadelphia to Tom Bladen. Off the boards to Bob Clark. Almost loses it in the Philadelphia zone, and this Bladen looks for Leach. He's free on the right wing. Can he feed Lonsbury? Hold, backhanded, too far for Lonsbury, and a good play by the back-checking Bob Schmotz to intercept. Knocked down by Moose DuPont. Everybody onside. Clark tries to get a piece of it, looks to the right wing. To Leach, he's offside.
10:52. This is when the teams start to get a little hairy here, and the checking comes a little bit tighter. Nobody wants to make that mistake that allows that go-ahead goal. There we see a final up in Montreal. Montreal 3, New York Islanders no score.
So the Islanders on foreign ice lose the first two. The Bruins leading this series 1-0. Milbury moves around Rick McLeish with a good play, gets to the red line, throws it into the Philadelphia zone where Bob Daly hustles back and picks up the puck in the Philadelphia zone. Backhands it to Billy Barber. Once again, Cashman is involved with a little bit of pushing and shoving. Dornhofer takes a super hit into the corner. Good pressure by the Bruins. Joe Watson looks for Barber, right on his stick. The foot race is on. Barber spun around by Brad Clark. Rick McLeish right there for Philadelphia. Barber has McLeish in front. Oh, back checking was none other than the Boston Bruins. Greg Shepard. Watson to Dornhofer. Everybody onside to Rick McLeish over his stick. Shepard picks up a loose puck, goes off the right wing to Wayne Cashman. Joe Watson stands up the blue line, shot off the waffle padding of goaltender Wayne Stevenson. Dornhofer, McLeish throws it to the left wing, and Barber hustling with Brad Clark. Gets there first, tries to avoid the check, taken down, and it is Mike Milbury. Off the right wing board, Selesky can't keep it in. This will be an offside face-off in neutral ice.
Both teams are showing signs of that wear and tear of physical contest that's been going on, and they're making the shifts a little bit quicker. The change is a little faster.
Well, you've got to worry about every shot on goal. The Flyers in this period so far, we've passed the midway mark. 5 in on goaltender Jerry Cheevers. Just one shot by the Boston Bruins in on Wayne Stevenson. McNabb, O'Reilly, and Stan Jonathan the line for the Bruins. Kindrachuk, Selesky, and Kelly. LeBerg trying to break his scoring drought. He has yet to have a point in this is 8th Stanley Cup game. Kelly kicks it into the Bruins zone. Gary Doak. Jimmy Watson knocks it down to Bob Kelly. To Jimmy Watson again. Off to Oris Kindrachuk. Tries to hit a breaking Jimmy Watson or Bob Kelly. Watson is in very deep for Philadelphia as Kelly retreats back to that left point. The puck is beneath him. Comes back to the Boston Bruins, and they try to come out 3-on-2, but a good play by Selesky to intercept for Philadelphia. With the puck is gone, Selesky over the line for Bob Kelly. Continues on in with the puck, throws it into the corner. Knocked down by Gary Doak. Comes up the right wing, goes into the seats.
And believe me, Bob Kelly really laid a check on Gary Doak, and he felt it. Now Terry O'Reilly's coming over to say something to Kelly.
Wally Harris, the scoring order here.
Nothing but talking, I think, right now. Gary Doak really took a strong check by Kelly. There we see it right here. Both going for the puck. Doak beating Kelly. Kelly just continuing right on and putting Gary Doak hard into the boards. And you can see right there that Gary Doak felt that one.
Milt Bridgman and Paul Holmgren come on for Philadelphia. Kelly will play the left wing. Moose DuPont and Bob Daly as Kelly skates back to the bench. Kindrachuk, I believe, will center this line with Bridgman at left wing. McNabb, O'Reilly, and Stan Jonathan for the Bruins. Fans start to come alive. Let's go, Flyers. 9:14 to go in this middle period. Lonsbury right there tries to make that break and to dig it out. Moves DuPont, tries to get a piece of it. In comes Paul Holmgren. The Boston Bruins give it away to Bob Daly. Delayed offside, and we'll have a face-off in neutral ice.
That's very close to having an intentional offside, and it's going back into the Flyer zone. 9:02 left to play in the third period, and
nobody wants to be on the ice to make that mistake, Bobby.
no, they don't. But you know, the interesting part is that the bodies are still flying around.
Daly flips it into the zone, knocked down by the glove hand of Milbury. Into Daly's stick, he throws it into the zone. Brad Park gets a piece of it. Forechecking for Philadelphia's Mel Bridgman drives with Milbury. Brad Park down the right wing, but it's Orest Kindrachuk intercepting again for Philadelphia. Off the skate of Bob Daly, but Paul Holmgren in turn gets it for Philadelphia. Good play to Orest Kindrachuk. Will have to do it solo. Throws it into the zone. In on goaltender Cheevers. Throws it off to the right wing where Stan Jonathan knocks it down. Number 17 tries to headman it to McNabb as Daly nicely got a piece of him. This will be icing when it's touched by Moose DuPont. 8:24 to go in a tense third period. 4-4. Or for that matter, 0-0.
Peter McNabb, you know, he had his best season ever, and I think we mentioned it earlier, and almost equaled his record in the 3 previous National League seasons. Grew up in San Diego, and of course his father is Max McNabb, the general manager of Washington. Attended Denver University.
On a baseball scholarship.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
He had 2 guys that went to college on a different scholarship, ended up playing hockey, and are now making their living at the sport that was the second choice. There you see some main movies up on prison. Freebie and the Bean and the Duchess and the Dirtwater Fox. Freebie and the Bean is the movie that they took the TV series Starsky and Hutch from.
Kindrachuk on again for Philadelphia with Paul Holmgren, who scored his first Stanley Cup goal ever tonight. Injured last year. This is his first Stanley Cup play. Let's go Flyers. A roar from the crowd. Greg Shepard and Orest Kindrachuk into the corner. Milbury with Kindrachuk on him. In comes Paul Holmgren. Cleared out. The neutral ice. Moose DuPont beats Forbes to the puck. Almost over skates. Backhands it. Give away to Brad Park. We'll have to do it 2-on-3. Tries to take Kindrachuk deep. Out in front. Bladen reads it beautifully. Giveaway. Partially deflected again by Bladen. Oh! Near giveaway again. Bladen to Holmgren. To John Winsing. Takes it wide. Hard up the board. Mel Bridgman throws it back to neutral ice. Knocked down by Gary Doak. Goes wing to Mike Milbury. Stick handles and drops it into the... Really drills Milbury. Moose DuPont clears. The foot race is on. Doak off the boards. Clark gets it back to Moose DuPont. Knocks down Rattel. Moose DuPont stick handles for Philadelphia. Moves to his home. Spun around. Runs right down.
Wally Harris is just letting everything go here. It's unbelievable.
John Winsing moves around Bladen. Reggie Leach back with 7 minutes to go in tonight's third period. Pulls up, looks for a breaking Bobby Clark. Drops it off nicely to the Flyers. Jimmy Watson almost loses it to Schwartz. Tries to headman it to Rattel, but Watson gets up again. Rattel in the air. Clark gloves it and tries to settle the Flyers down. Drops it off for Reggie Leach. Backhands it nicely to Tom Bladen. Bladen high in the air. Lonsbury, and it's Jerry Cheevers making a save. Face-off in the Bruin zone. That would have been a offside pass anyway.
I think so, but Cheevers not taking the chance of missing that clearing pass or anything. There we see what we said earlier. Jerry Cheevers' 10 consecutive playoff wins in 1970, the year they won the Cup, which is a National Hockey League record.
Well, nobody has left the spectrum tonight. We have a little over 7 minutes to go. The Flyers 4 and the Boston Bruins 4. Clark, Lonsbury, Leach, Daly, and Jimmy Watson on for Philadelphia. John Rattel will take the draw with Clark. Has to wait till Gary Doak gets back behind the drop by linesman Leon Stickle. Also Dave Forbes cheating just a little bit. Important draw coming up here.
That's what I say. I don't understand why both players do that, because the object of the thing is to stop each other from going the defensive player stopped the other one to go into the net. The other one to stop the defensive player from going out to the point. And neither one is going to be moving that quick.
Schmutz comes away with the puck, throws it into the Philadelphia zone. Stevens makes the glove save and drops it off for Jimmy Watson. John Rattel is in deep, goes to the backhand. Can Leach get to the puck first? And does. Headman's at the Bobby Clark, almost overskates, drops it back off for Leach. Beats Forbes to it. Clark has to wait till Leach is onside. Big Bob Daly with the puck, throws it into the corner, continues after it. Shot comes off to Bobby Clark. Tries to throw it back to Reggie Leach. Clark right there hustling for Philadelphia. It's beneath Forbes and Rattel, and we have a face-off in the Boston zone.
3 Boston players all alone there with 1 Philadelphia player, and you can throw a blanket over them, and coaches do not like to see that. There's number 14, Dave Forbes, a man that had all that trouble in the courts a few years back. Graduated out of American International College in Springfield, Massachusetts, although he's a Canadian.
From Montreal, Bob Clark again to take the draw with John Rattel. 6:20 to go in this third period. Underneath, Forbes drops it off to Mike Milbury in the corner. Clark on him, too hot, kept in nicely by Moose DuPont. Back off the dasher boards, Lonsbury and Brad Park in a foot race with Wally Harris. Lonsbury, in comes Schmutz, in comes defenseman Joe Watson. We have a face-off again in the Boston Bruins zone.
Philadelphia trying to keep that puck bottled up inside Boston's zone. Boston, of course, vainly trying to get it out, but the more the face-off, the more the action is in your zone, it's going to break through for the opposing team. 6:06 left in this third period. Lots of hockey left. Lots of time for either team to score the go-ahead goal, and lots of time for the, if that ever happens, for the other team to come back. This crowd has been yelling right from the offset.
Right.
It's just like the old days in '74 when that happened every single game.
Bob Clark would like to win this draw and get it back to Moose DuPont. Gets a piece of it, knocked down. Cheevers strays 35 feet out and sends it the length of the ice. The foot race is on. Let's see who gets there first, DuPont or Schmutz. DuPont did.
It would have been a 2-line pass anyway. I saw linesman Leon Stickle indicate when the race was on that he had the arm up signifying icing, and also if it was going to be a 2-line pass, the linesman will usually point to the offensive player, in that case Bobby Schmutz. So if he had touched it, it would have been a 2-line pass, but Moose DuPont beat him to it, so now that's an icing call. You can usually watch the linesman, and you can usually see what the call is going to be before the play, before it ever happens.
Greg Shepard to take the draw with Rick McLeish. A couple of 19s paired up. Into the corner, McLeish gets wood on it, tries to Billy Barber, rolls in on Cheevers, and he hangs on as McLeish tries to dig it free.
Boston's really been quick into protecting Cheevers when he roams around outside of his crease and to freeze that puck. Flyers, as soon as one even comes near him, defensemen and forwards are quick to move them out of there, which is really a big help for a goaltender.
We do hope you're enjoying this barn burner here. 4-4 in the third period. 5:52 to go. McLeish with show off the shoulder from the faceoff. Dornhofer beats Marcotte, tries to hit McLeish, comes wide. Cashman lofts it out, but not out. Joe Watson to McLeish, into the corner to Dornhofer. Shot to McLeish, can't get a stick down. Watson tries to beat Cashman to it. It's beneath Cashman and Joe Watson. Good play there, but Brad Park picks up the puck, takes it, tries to take it away from Dornhofer. Off the boards, Dornhofer to McLeish. Back to Dornhofer. Barber is in front, puts it into the corner. Dornhofer is screened off by Shepard. In comes Dornhofer on Cashman. In comes Joe Watson. There's Barber. They try to get it out, and they do, but McLeish is back nicely for Philadelphia. McLeish high in the air into the corner. Milbury off his glove onto his stick. McLeish. Joe Watson beats Cashman to it. Spun around, but Greg Shepard has it for the Boston Bruins. Tries to go to the right wing. Dornhofer's right there. Got some tired folks for Philadelphia, Bob. And it goes into the seats. We'll get a wholesale line change.
Philadelphia maintaining that puck inside the Boston zone much of this third period. Not getting real good shots on Jerry Cheevers. The closest one coming off the face-off there when Rick McLeish fools a lot of people to draw. You know, he's not noted to being a very strong face-off man, but every once in a while, he'll go to the net with that shot and surprises everybody.
The Boston Bruins Peter McNabb gets a piece of it. Jimmy Watson with McNabb falling into goaltender Wayne Stevenson. Right onto the stick, or a little too hot for Mel Bridgman. This goes the length of the ice, and it will be icing as Bridgman couldn't get a piece of it. Oh.
Could have been a break for Philadelphia with the Boston player losing his footing, sliding into goaltender Stevenson. But as you said, Hugh, the pass is a little bit too hard to handle for Mel Bridgman.
Gary Doak retreats back to the Boston bench to talk with head coach Cherry. Fans again start to come alive. Let's go Flyers. Peter McNabb will take the draw with Oris Kindrachuk. He is paired with Mel Bridgman and Don Selesky for Philadelphia. The defensemen are Big Bob Daly and Jimmy Watson. Doak and Rick Smith, the Blue Liners for Boston. John Wensink, the left winger. Right winger is O'Reilly. Jimmy Watson, or Bridgman, kicks it off to Don Selesky. Selesky tries to move around Rick Smith. Gets a piece of it. Here is Daly. On to Bridgman onside with Kindrachuk trailing. Can he get it to him? In front, and out comes Cheevers to hang on.
You're not going to get that pass through like that. You have to have that trailer stay a little bit deeper in the slot because Jerry Cheevers has so much range. He has so much ability to handle that stick and to cut off that pass coming across in front there. But you're going to have to stay a little bit out of his reach in order to get the pass through.
Well, here it comes down to a lot of bench jockeying, I would imagine, Bob. 4:36 to go in the third period. McLeish is now playing the left wing, replacing Mel Bridgman. Daly moves into the face-off circle, then he backs up as it is Kindrachuk trying to get it to Selesky, gets it back to Bob Daly, a bullet, and it went wide. Joe Watson keeps it in the Boston zone. Has a bit of a problem, goes off the boards to Kindrachuk, tries to get it to Selesky, but Cheevers makes the grab on a bouncing puck.
Penichiro trying to mix up his offensive threats, having at least one real good goal scorer on the ice at all times, forcing Boston to really be conscious of that fact. In the shot total, Flyers have had 7 to Boston's 1 in this period.
Knocked down by Brad Park as Kindrachuk almost falls down. Peter McNabb can send the Bruins away 2-on-2 as O'Reilly throws it into the zone. Wensink hustling for it. Out in front, but reading it is Joe Watson for Philadelphia. Head man's to Kindrachuk, pulls it back. The Flyers coming 3-on-3 to Don Selesky over the line, back to Kindrachuk as McLeish was free in the slot area. Kindrachuk tries to dump it out in front. O'Reilly throws it into the corner. Selesky spins O'Reilly around. Park loses to Kindrachuk. Watson is free at the left right. McLeish back to Watson. 40-footer through a screen. Whistles wide. Daly keeps it in the Boston Bruins zone. Gloved down by Brad Park. Out the neutral ice. Daly has it again. Everybody onside. McLeish is onside. McLeish, he's out. Shot. Hit the pole. Joe Watson keeps it into the corner. Up in the air, and Cheevers hangs on.
Bob Daly hurt himself there. Terry O'Reilly laid a pretty good check on him in the middle of the ice. He went down, and he's staying out at center ice there, and it looks like he might have injured that knee, and that could be a big blow for Philadelphia in this series. Here we see Ricky McLeish winding up with that patented wrist shot of his. Bang, right on the short side, off the post on Jerry Cheevers, and the score remains 4-4.
And I think we have seen the last of Bob Daly as he went right up the Flyers' runway in extreme pain, and we hope it has not removed the big guy from the Stanley Cup semifinals. 3:40 to go. Philadelphia's Rick McLeish got the goaltender's best friend and hit the pipe right there. Flyers making... Boy, this is a real grinder. Back to Moose DuPont. Second shot, but it went off a skate. Out comes Jerry Cheevers. Clark tries to get a piece of him, and it goes up to Doak. Comes back to neutral ice. This is going the length of the ice, but the puck dies. Lonsbury for Philadelphia. Comes up the right wing to Bob Clark. Almost gives it away, and here comes Lonsbury with Leach on the off wing. Lonsbury takes it wide. Tries to take Smith into the boards. Leaves it off for Leach with Clark in the slot. Leach still controls for Philadelphia. Up in the air, knocked down, and hanging on his Cheevers.
Every time Cheevers looks up, is either Clark or Dornhofer right there on his doorstep. Imagine he'll see those two players in his dreams tonight.
This is a grinder, Bobby. Up and down, up and down. Here comes the count.
Here comes Bob Daly back in. I think he just probably twisted it. When you saw him leave the bench, he probably just went up and walked it up and down the tunnelway there to loosen it up, or possibly even a cramp might have occurred. And physical therapist Matthew Paolo probably just came in and worked it out on him.
Maybe he kissed it for him. it
Get
back.
a boo-boo?
Get a boo-boo. 3:12 to go in this third period. A scintillating hockey game. Clark and John Rattel to take the draw. Be very, very tough to hear whistles. I hope you can hear us. As Leach, Lonsbury, Watson, and Bob Daly are poised for the draw. Clark gets a piece of it in on Cheevers, and he hangs on again.
You know, a lot of times when a guy is going charging for the net, that your own man will just knock you into the goaltender, and you have no chance really, and that's what upsets a lot of guys. But it's not your fault; it's the other guy's own man.
Clark knocks it down, but it's Park off to Don Marcotte, coming back nicely to John Rattel. Rattel tries to take Daly wide, spun around into the corner. Jimmy Watson there first for Philadelphia, and trying to dig it out is Lonsbury, right onto the sticker. Oh, Reggie Leach. Nobody wants to make a mistake here, but...
Not even the referees, believe me. You'll find that the whistles will come pretty quick now, especially on a call like that. As soon as they lose sight of it, there's even going to be a hint of freezing the puck, they're going to blow it down. Because, you know, they get as much involved in these games as the players do, you know, and they're up, and they don't really want to make a bad call. They don't want to have their call be the one that'll change the course of the game and cause one team to have the advantage and win over the other. Even though it might appear that they are hoping for the one team or the other, they really aren't. I guess that whenever you have the human factor involved in any kind of officiating, that you're going to have everybody arguing about which was the right call, which wasn't.
Clark and Rattel with an important face-off in the Philadelphia zone. 2:55 to go in this period. Into the corner, Daly gets a piece of it, hard off the board for Ross Lonsbury. Tries the big dope to it, comes off, and Leach gets it out. Knocked down by Bob Clark. Tries to drop it off for Jimmy Watson. Make that Lonsbury. Stick handling around. Shot coming up, went wide. Bob Daly and Marcotte, and it goes the length of the ice, but this may go on. Taken off. The icing is waved off. Here comes Jimmy Watson, as it was Stevenson taking the icing off. Moves around Wayne Cashman. Intercepted and knocked down by Don Marcotte. In turn, offside Leach as Jimmy Watson took it into the Boston Bruins zone.
Why that icing was waved off, linesman Gerard Gauthier thought that when the puck was cleared by Boston, Jimmy Watson was in a position to just put a stick down and intercept it and prevent it from going the length of the ice. Therefore, he called the play that it was not icing. 2:26 left to play in this third period, and now's the time when everybody starts biting the nails and sitting on the edge of the seat.
Barber with Shepard. DuPont gets a piece of it, and so does Marcotte. Shepard right there, but it's Tommy Bladen for Philadelphia. Lofts it to Dornhofer, who leaves it go. Marcotte backhands it into the Philadelphia zone. In comes Shepard. Tom Bladen off the boards for Moose DuPont. Backhands it nicely to Bill Barber. Slowly drops it off for Bladen. Stick handles nicely around Marcotte. Back to Billy Barber with Dornhofer on the right wing, but Milbury should get there first. Bladen keeps it in the Boston zone. Knocked down by Brad Park. Barber right there, and it comes free to Moose DuPont. Goes to the right wing side to Gary Dornhofer. Spun around by Park. Barber leaves it off for Dornhofer. Park right there. In comes McLeish. Knocked down by Moose DuPont. Waits till Dornhofer gets onside. Drops it off for defenseman Bladen. Bladen in the air. Everybody onside. Dornhofer is tripped up by Marcotte around the boards, and it goes the length of the ice, but it should die. As Marcotte and Dornhofer have sticks up. Icing no is the call. That was just going to quit.
I know. What a battle going on away from the puck. Everybody out there, especially when Dornhofer's on the ice. Everybody is taking a run at him. He's taking a run at everybody and away from the play. And a lot of times, both players want penalties called. But none is forthcoming, it seems, by the Wally Harris.
Well, we start to get the chess match going on now as the faceoff will be in the Boston Bruins zone. To the right of goaltender Jerry Cheevers. Wally Harris looking at both benches. We have 1:28 left in the third period.
Boston's only allowed one change and made two changes right there.
Boy, this is nitty-gritty time, Coach. Flyers with 8 shots. The Boston Bruins held to a lone 1.
Seems like, you know, now when you talk about the chess game, Boris Spassky and Bobby Fischer are making these moves now.
See what Wally Harris decides to allow. He put Cashman back, but then again allowed McLeish to kind of slide out there. Okay, it's Clark against Ratzel. We have said that innumerable times here in this third period. The draw all important. McLeish, Bob Daly, tries to go to the count. Wrist shot. Bouncing puck. Kindrachuk can't get his stick down, and the Flyers are hoping for some help there. McLeish with the puck. Oh, right on the Marcotte stick. Thought he had Daly. Headman is at the Schwartz. Jumps off his stick. Hustling back. Jimmy make that moose to punt. And icing the call with 1-1-1 to go. Railroad tracks.
Boston just getting that puck out. Nobody, just like a hot potato back there. They don't want to fool around one bit. They're just icing that puck as much as possible. They're the ones that really would like to see it going into overtime. You saw what happened Sunday night. Anything can happen. And the cookie gets goal sometimes, most of the time, determine the outcome of the game. There's Jean Rattel, the big veteran player for Boston. He surprises you how big the man is. You know, he has such grace and ability, and for a big man, it's unusual.
Wally Harris says enough of the line changes. Let's get back to the game at hand. 1-11, Flyers and Bruins. 4-4, game 2 of the Stanley Cup semifinals. Rattel gets a piece of it. Milbury loses. McLeish tries to get it to Clark. Takes it off, throws it out in front. Leach is there. Here is Jimmy Watson for a screen. Whistle wide. Cheevers throws it into the corner. Rattel tries to get a piece of it. Off to Brad Clark. Clark in deep for Philadelphia. Around the board, Marcotte with Daly on him. McLeish keeps it in the zone. To Clark, who tried to redirect it home. Cheevers drops it off for Brad Park. In comes Bob Clark. Jimmy Watson gets there first. McLeish broke his stick. The Bruins throw it into the corner as Philadelphia's Bob Clark and Brad Park. Clark tries to get a piece of it. Clark fans on it. Clark right there, 35 seconds. And that's it, 35 face-off as Rick McLeish broke his stick, and I thought, uh-oh, a 3-on-1, Bob.
Bob Daly made the defensive play, Hugh, and Ricky did break the blade off his stick when he tried that shot. Boston trying to come out, and Bob Daly with that big, long reach of his just reached out and knocked that puck, and away it went in the corner, and Clark throws it up against the boards for the face-off. But Daly, time and time again, has come up with excellent defensive plays. 35 seconds left to go in regulation time. 4-4. Big face-off coming up, and this is where it counts. The last, you remember Sunday, there was a big face-off. It was almost about the same amount of time left. Clark won the draw, came back, big pile up in front of the net, and then Clark put it in for the tying goal. And the man that he beat for that face-off in that zone was the same man that Coach Don Cherry's putting out now, number 10, Jean Rattel.
Well, I tell you what, you can see Clark perspiring profusely and with those labored breaths. I think he's been out for the last 2 minutes. Clark, McLeish, Gary Dornhofer, Moose DuPont, Bob Daly. For the Bruins, Rick Smith, Gary Doak, Cashman, Shepard, and John Rattel. Clark and Rattel to take the draw. 35 seconds to go into tonight's third period. Stickle to drop the puck, but he waves back Gary Doak. Clark gets a piece of it onto the stick of Rick Smith. Moose DuPont there. Cashman sends it back to neutral ice. Moose DuPont is not trapped in the zone, knocked down by Cashman. Will try to move around Clark off the boards. McLeish right there. Tries to drop it to Bob Clark. Looks to the right wing to Rick McLeish. Oh, almost a near giveaway by Philadelphia. Clark with Rattel draped all over him. 13 seconds to go in the game. Moose DuPont tries it, breaking Gary Dornhofer. Knocked down by Rick Smith. Bob Daly right there off the boards to John Rattel into the corner. We are going overtime. 3, 2, 1, and that's it. Regulation is over. Get ready for a heart pumper.
Boy, I'll tell you, how many more of these overtime games?
Victory. We have a preference. We would like to call it sudden victory for Philadelphia. Clark, Leach, Lonsbury, Daly, Jim Watson, Rattel, Cashman, or make that Bobby Schwartz and Dave Forbes. Cashman not on. Mike Milbury. Here we are in overtime. Skip into the Boston Bruins zone. Milbury backhands it for Doak. Rattel gets it out, knocked down the late offside, but away comes Milbury onto Forbes' stick, throws it into the Philadelphia zone. Stevenson right onto the stick of Big Bob Daly. Tries to go hard off the board, sticking around. Oh, what a save! Oh, what a super save! Philadelphia almost coughed it up. To Lansbury. Spun around. The Bruins keep it in the zone. Knocked down by Lansbury. Tries to take some of the heat off to Jimmy Watson. Backhands around the board for Leach. Leach and Milbury right there. Leach flailing away. Forbes off the board. Knocked down by Daly. Tries to spin it around and out. Clark sends away Leach. 2-on-1. Lansbury on the left wing. Leach tees it up. Shot. Great save by goaltender Cheevers. Clock controlled. Daly breaking. Oh, out for his stick. Here come the Bruins back. But so is Ross Lansbury, back checking for Philadelphia. Jumps over the stick of Gary Doak. Milbury gets there first. Oh, your heart's in your throat all the way here. Knocked down by the big guy, Daly. Tries to get a piece of it. Milbury right there. So is Daly. Throws it into the zone. Lansbury. I think advancing the puck will be the call, and that's exactly what it is from Wally Harris.
That puck came off Bob Daly's arm and not his hand. I don't know if that makes any difference. Of course it doesn't, because Wally Harris blew it down anyway, saying he mentioned the puck with the glove.
Ooh. Flyers almost coughed it up, and then the rifle with Lansbury all alone. Reggie decided to take the shot.
If I had his shot, I'd take it too.
Okay, it comes free to Rick Smith. Off to Brad Park. Holstein the rush for Boston. Now comes Bruce DuPont. Too far for Cashman. This will be icing when Clayton touches it.
And early in on the overtime also, or you usually don't see that many close opportunities. There's Wayne Cashman, who has played quite a series for them and has a lot of experience going into playoffs. 84 games, as you said earlier, Hugh. He's done an excellent job tonight.
McLeish takes the draw, gets a piece of it, tries to throw it down. There is Dornhofer getting a piece of it off to Rick McLeish. Comes back to Bladen at the point. He'll just throw it back into the corner. McLeish for Dornhofer with Barber out in front. Barber controls for Philadelphia. Throws it back to Gary Dornhofer. Kicks it free. Cashman is there. He'll beat McLeish to it, and it goes too hot for Shepard, but it comes to Marcotte. Marcotte at the red line. 50-footer goes into the seats in the second level.
DuPont got a piece of it, but when Marcotte wound up to take the shot, Wayne Cashman is too quick on the right side on the blue line, and offside was the call. I don't know about you, Ace, but my heart's just going a mile a minute.
Oh. It's Cardiac City, and the faithful are still in their seats. 11:26, our clock time here on a Tuesday evening. Every rush up the ice gets you thinking.
There's Craig Shepard, the goal leader for playoff action for Boston, 24.
Shepard, McLeish to Joe Watson. His brother Jimmy widens out, still in the Philadelphia zone. The Bridgman takes a good hit from Milbury and on goaltender Cheevers into the corner where it's Wayne Cashman. In comes Rick McLeish, spun around. McLeish gets it to Billy Barber. Loses control, tries to throw it back. Oh, and the Bruins come out. Holmgren as Cashman overskates. Jimmy Watson read that one to Marcotte. Pulls it back. Takes it over the line. Breaking. Great stick handling to Rick McLeish. Goes back to Billy Barber. Shot into the corner as Cashman got hit with a stick. In goes Rick McLeish. Throws it back along the boards. That was an accidental stick that time, and Shepard not too crazy about it. Let's see. Barber as he broke his stick to Wayne Cashman. Shot. Partially deflected into the corner. Watson stands up Cashman. Billy Barber back checking for Philadelphia. Beats McNabb to the puck to Don Selesky as Milbury overskates. Cashman loses to Barber. Barber comes out nicely for Joe Watson. Hustling for the puck. Too far. Brad Park knocks it down. Billy Barber has it to the red line. Knocked down by Joe Watson. The Bruins come off into the corner. Stevenson can see McNabb in the zone. Joe Watson overskates. Tries to get it out to Don Selesky. Flyers running out of legs. Out in front. It's back for a point. Shot up in the air into the corner. Rick McLeish takes off the pressure. Whoa! Bruins with the Flyers getting sore legs.
Boy, I'll tell you, this is a time when you don't get sloppy in your own end there. You have to play your positions. You have to show patience.
Joe Watson looked like he was on last legs, Bob.
Well, he got caught in a long shift there, and he couldn't come off. And you're supposed to wait until the puck gets up into the offensive zone or in a safe position so that you can get off. And that time, Boston had control of the puck, and Joey just couldn't get off. 16:55 left in this overtime period.
You can hear the Flyer fans yelling, "Let's go Flyers," as Horace Kindrachuk will take the draw with Peter McNabb. Big Terry O'Reilly will try and get in front of goaltender Wayne Stevenson. Kindrachuk would like to get it back to Moose DuPont. Gets a piece of it, comes back to Brad Park. Kindrachuk skates away, has Selesky free on the right wing. Gets to the red line. Dogged by O'Reilly, takes it in deep, moves around, holds up. Ridden off, gets it to Don Selesky. Selesky right there and falls down for Philadelphia. Brad Park with the puck on the left wing. Tries to come out. Here come the Bruins 3-on-3. McNabb takes it over the line. Poked away. Selesky gets a piece of it up in the air, and it's over the line. O'Reilly and Daly start to glare at each other. Nothing developing, and Wally Harris, unless it is a flagrant foul, probably will not call a penalty against either club, Bob.
I don't think so. He hasn't really he's let everything go pretty well all game, so I don't see him changing it anymore in the overtime period. Last year, that 2-1 Flyer victory in the second game, Reggie Leach got his goal at the 13:38 mark of the overtime period.
It's that kind of game. Boy, on the edge of your seat, you could really stand up and do this broadcast. Kindrachuk gets the draw to Tom Bladen. Gets it off to Kindrachuk. Tries to headman it to Bob Kelly. Knocked down by Rick Smith. McNabb goes off to John Wensick. Bob Daly controls for Philadelphia. Kelly is free over the line. Poked away. Kindrachuk gets a piece of it. Selesky tries to hold. Over the line. Offside Bob Daly. Flyers not playing conservatively at all, Bob. Looks like everybody was rushing that time.
You want to get... The thing that happens when you get into the locker room after the regulation time and you're about to go out on the overtime period is that everybody says, come on, let's get this thing early. Let's get it done with. Let's get over. And that's exactly the way Philadelphia is going after it right now. They want to force the play in the Bruins end, try and come up with that goal quickly and get out of here.
Clark line on for Philadelphia. The Rattel line on for the Bruins. Clark gets a chunk of it, so does Rattel. Lonsbury's right there over the line. Tries to stick handle, spun around. Mike Milbury going for the puck. Milbury tries to throw it out, kept in by Lonsbury, tries to throw it into the corner. Reggie Leach kicks the count, close to Clark, after the stick down. Lonsbury does, throws it into the corner. Clark and Milbury there. Clark tries to get it to Reggie Leach, and it's the back-checking John Rattel. Rattel tries to move around Leach, drops it off for Milbury. Milbury flying down the line, drops it off for Schwartz, throws a shot, whistles wide. Lonsbury gets a piece of it, loses it to Marcotte, tries to backhand it to Bob Clark, kept in by the Boston Bruins. That is Jimmy Watson going for the puck for Philadelphia. He fans on it. Clark comes in, and Wally Harris says, let's have a face-off.
That's a good play by Jimmy Watson. Philadelphia having trouble getting that puck out, freezing that puck up against the boards. This is what happened in the second period when a lot of the Boston goals were the result. They were trying to move that puck at all times, and when they were in trouble, they just kept it down. They tried to keep it going rather than freezing it, forcing the face-off and cooling the Bruins down.
Bob Clark and John Rattel to take the draw. Comes back to the point. Brad Smith throws it through a screen, knocked down by Blade. Here is Reggie Leach throwing it out nicely. Spun around. Rick Smith right back into the Philadelphia zone, where Stevenson drops it off for Moose DuPont around the boards to Lonsbury. Tries to get it out, controls, almost fans on it. Tries to hit Bobby Clark. Rattel is over the line, offside, and Philadelphia will hit back nicely to Moose DuPont. Looks at Bob Daly, will stick handle for Philadelphia. Off his skate, gets it out. Kept in, the Bruins have 3-on-2. Good play by Bob Clark. Here come the Flyers, 3-on-2. Lonsbury at the left wing. Clark over the line to Lonsbury. Takes it in deep, first shot. Knocked down by Lonsbury, turn around in front. And that pass is for Forrest, but Bob Daly read it beautifully. Gets a screen, lofts it off to himself, tries to move around Brad Park. It does Leach. It's over the line.
Offside on the right side.
Reggie Leach.
A little bit too quick was Reggie getting in on there, but
Goes with its regular line, Rick McLeish, Gary Dornhofer, and Billy Barber. Shepard, Marcotte, and Cashman. A lot of experience on for both clubs. Barber tries to get it over the line, knocked down by Gary Doak, widens out, drops it off to Milbury. He almost overskates. Barber checking on him, spun around, Bladen gets a piece of it, goes into the Bruins player bench.
Both teams picking up those wings very, very diligently in the center iso, making sure that their check doesn't get away, doesn't get the good shot on goal that results in the winning one.
Shepard and McLeish to take the draw, neutral ice. Drop. Dornhofer tries to get a piece of it. Marcotte in turn off to Tom Bladen. Goes wing to Joe Watson. He'll start the rush. Gets to the red line, into the Bruins zone. High stick down by Mike Milbury. Tries to backhand it out over the stick of Wayne Cashman. The length of the ice. This will be icing. A break for Philadelphia here. Touched up by Tommy Bladen.
There's the shot. Stevenson did get his stick on it. The fat part of the blade, or of the paddle, makes the excellent save, and then Cheevers comes up with a fine sliding save on Paul Holmgren, who was being checked very well from behind, not allowing him to get a good wood on the stick. Good wood on the stick. Good wood on the puck. Here it is right here. Cashman coming back. There's the save by Cheevers. Both goaltenders keeping their teams in this overtime.
Kindrachuk, and finally it is the Boston Bruins Stan Jonathan throwing it away onto the stick of Moose DuPont. Bridgman throws it into the Boston zone where Mike Milbury tracks it down. Kindrachuk on him. He falls down. And here comes Milbury. The Bruins coming 4-on-3. Headman's it for McNabb. Foot race is on. Stevenson comes out and makes the save. Good draw. McNabb would like to get it back to Brad Park. Kindrachuk gets a piece of it. Moose DuPont. Headman's it to Mel Bridgman. Looks for Selesky breaking into the Bruin zone. Takes a bounce into the corner where Selesky is screened off. Jonathan gets it. Throws it hard off the glass. Bladen can't get to it. McNabb throws it deep into the Philadelphia zone where it's Moose DuPont. Back at the red line. Goes hard off the boards to Mel Bridgman. Back into Stan Jonathan. Comes back to the right point. Teeing it up. Oh, partially deflected by the skate of Tommy Bladen. Knocked down by Bladen. Jonathan hustling, but Selesky will get it out and throws it the length of the ice to take the pressure off, icing the call here.
That one was a very fortunate play there. Wayne Stevenson didn't see that drive from the right point.
Clark and Rutzell. Clark gets a piece of it. Here comes Smith. Taking a shot. Went wide. Right onto the stick of Ross Lonsbury. The Flyers coming 3-on-2. Lonsbury throws it into the Bruins zone. Off to Reggie Leach. Into the corner. Avoids a check. In comes Bob Clark. Beneath Clark. Dug out Lonsbury hustling for the puck, but Bobby Schwartz should get there first. Back checking nicely. And here come the Bruins 2-on-1. Bob Daly will have to take Forbes wide. Hold. Knocked down. Went into the corner. Here comes Joe Watson. The Flyers 3-on-2. To Reggie Leach. Tees it up and falls down. Throws it into the corner. Where it's Brad Clark. Takes a hit from Clark. In comes Leach. Back to Clark. Jumps over his stick. Cheevers around to Schwartz. Right there is Russ Lonsbury. Into Reggie Leach. Shot. Partially deflected to Clark. Shot. Hit the post. Clark takes it down. Connor now is letting everything go. Leach goes into the corner. Good pressure by Philadelphia. To Lonsbury. Shot. Partially deflected. Billy has to hustle back and gets there first.
You said it right here when Wally Harris won't call anything.
McLeish with Barber and Dornhofer breaking. Over the line. Takes it wide on Clark. Shot. Deflection. Dornhofer. Can't see it up. Cashman does. Takes it wide. Glove save, and Stevenson hangs on. Oh, Lord. Up and down the ice.
Man alive, I'll tell you how much excitement can be crammed.
Mike Milbury at the left point. There is Marcotte, Bladen all over him. McLeish goes off the boards. Cashman and Jimmy Watson. Cashman ridden off nicely by Watson. Here comes Barber. 3-on-2. To McLeish with Dornhofer on the right wing. Over the line. Can he tee it up? Shot. Quick save by goaltender Jerry Cheevers. That is Don Marcotte hustling back the other way. Here come the Bruins. Headman's at the Cashman. Too far for him. Jimmy Watson off the dasher boards. Knocked down by Gary Doak. Spins around. Looks for Greg Shepard. Left winger is free. Shepard shot. Makes the shot. There is McLeish. He's on top of the puck. Can he dig it out? Let go by Wally Harris into the corner, where Bladen will get there first for Philadelphia. Shepard on him. Headman's at the Barber. Out of the zone. McLeish in the foot race with Tilbury, but he heads to the bench. The Flyers make a line change. A lot of folks free on the right wing, but Bladen quickly recovers. Here comes Milbury. Over the line with Cashman trailing. Too far. Kindrachuk at the basement.
Oh, what a play by Brad Parker. Don Marcotte.
Knocked down by Big Bob Daly to Cashman. There is Selesky intercepting nicely for Philadelphia. Backhands it to Oris Kindrachuk. Oh, what a game. Red line. Throws it into the corner. Caroms onto the stick of Don Marcotte. Too far for the breaking Peter McNabb. Icing will be the call when it's touched by Moose DuPont. Oh,
Believe me, I thought there was a breakaway by Bill Bridgman, but Brad Park got back and showed the speed out there to cover up and keep Pileski away from it. But what an opportunity by Philadelphia.
Bob Kelly can't find the handle, and away comes Terry O'Reilly down the right wing as Moose DuPont the lead with McNabb at center ice into the corner, takes a carom. Bob Daly is there along with Don Selesky. Tries to pull it away from Jonathan. In comes Bob Kelly. Selesky headmans it, and it's knocked down by Rick Smith. Intercepted by Selesky to Kindrachuk, and he is spun around by O'Reilly. It comes back to Brad Park. Looks off to left winger Stan Jonathan. In comes Don Selesky. Kelly tries to get there to get a piece of it. Big pile up. In comes Bob Daly. Knocked down by Selesky. Everybody onside. He puts it right back into the Bruins zone. Brad Park pulls up behind Jerry Cheevers. Kelly on him. Headmans it to Peter McNabb with O'Reilly breaking on the right wing. Knocked down by Reggie Leach. Recovers. Down the left wing. Reggie Leach. 40-footer. Oh, he's the post. Hit the goalpost. O'Reilly to McNabb. Back. His shot. Great save by Stevenson, and he hangs on.
Holy cow, Reggie Leach uncorked a blistering drive that completely fooled Jerry Cheevers, and it rattled off the goalpost. Here it is right here. Right inside the blue line. All the power that he has. There it is, right off the post. Cheevers didn't even move until it was by him.
9:10 left in this overtime period. Boy, what a great game. Probably the greatest game I've ever been privileged to broadcast in the... Oh.
Boy, I'm telling you.
Got a second back. Bob Park wins the draw, gets it to Joe Watson, throws it off the boards as it is Milbury and Reggie Leach going for it. Leach gets a piece of it, tries to get it out. Forbes keeps it in, goes back into the corner where Joe Watson will beat and does Bobby Schmutz to the puck. Watson off the boards to Reggie Leach.
Oh, what a save! I'm telling you, both goaltenders have been unbelievable tonight. 4 goals by each, been allowed by each of them, but believe me, you are seeing goaltending at its best tonight. I don't think there's anybody around the league today who can play as well as Stevenson has for Flyers and as well as Cheevers has for Boston. You know, my coat caught in the seats. I couldn't move.
Don't panic, Bob, whatever you do. As long as the players aren't. Hugh Gannon and Bob Taylor at the sold-out Spectrum in Philadelphia. Game on goaltender Wayne Stevenson. If I sound a little shaky, I am. Off the Moose DuPont. Still in the Bruins zone. Gets it off to Reggie Leach. Backhands it off the skate of John Rattel to Rick Smith. Right back into the Philadelphia zone. Starting to take some weird caroms here to Lansbury. Knocks it down. Right on the stick of Reggie Leach. Maybe this time. 70-footer. Partially deflected. And Cheevers throws it out to center ice. Knocked down by Bladen. Stick handles around Schwartz. Reggie Leach tries to move around Rick Smith and does. Throws it in on goaltender Cheevers, and he hangs on. Into the corner where Rick McLeish and Mike Milbury go for the puck. McLeish tries to get it away from Milbury. Milbury and McLeish. In comes Billy Barber, knocks it off for Rick McLeish. Tries to throw it out in the corner. In comes defenseman Jimmy Watson. Pumps it back off the boards. Milbury takes no chances. Quickly around the board. Forbes still breaking Cashman. Drops it off for Shepard. Left winger is free over the line with 4 flyers back. The forward shot. Skip to the plate.
Oh, he hit the goalpost. I thought that was in.
So did I. Right back into the corner where the count, Bob Daly, Bill Barber, Rick McLeish, and we have a face-off. I can't believe that. I thought it was a goal.
What a shot by Dave Forbes, and that just hit the post and came straight out.
Shepard in the draw. McLeish gets a piece of it off the Moose DuPont, right up in front of goaltender Wayne Stevens. Boy, you got to keep putting out 150%. We go through 4,000 cliches and bromides here. McNabb and Kindrachuk to take the draw. To the left of goaltender Jerry Cheevers into the corner where it's Rick Smith off the board. Selesky gets a piece of it. Tommy Bladen throws it back hard off the boards. Bridgman hustling for it along with Horace Kindrachuk. Bridgman has it for Philadelphia. Throws it back to Horace Kindrachuk. Avoids a check by Brad Park. Still controls, still stick handles. Looks for Selesky. Shot! Here come the Bruins 3-on-3. O'Reilly with McNabb trailing. Over the line. Drops it back for McNabb. Shot. Knocked down by Moose DuPont. Away comes Carl Bridgman. Headmans it for Kindrachuk. Tries to move around Park and does. Holds, in on goaltender Cheevers. Hustling forward is Don Selesky, along with Stan Jonathan. In comes Mel Bridgman. Gets a piece of it. Bladen can't keep it in the Boston Bruins zone. Flyers look a bit winded, maybe need a line change. Into the corner, out comes Bobby Clark. Hustling forward is Don Selesky. Will try and go back to Clark. He has a piece of the puck. Throws it out for Lansbury. Shot! Right through! Again, lines up. Tries to hit Clark in front. Oh, it's a streak! O'Reilly fans. Still stick handles in the Boston zone. Loses it. There's Clark for Philadelphia. Back to Lansbury. O'Reilly would be happy with a face-off. And finally, Hull says yes. Lord Almighty.
Talk about close plays here. Jerry Cheevers was caught out of the net there, and the puck to Ross Lansbury came. He came to Bobby Clark. Tried to wait to see get somebody in position, but the defenseman had covered up close to the net, not allowing that pass to come, and it did find a little bit of a hole, and it slid right through the goal mouth. Here it is, Lansbury getting the good chance, makes the shot, save by Cheevers. There he is, way out there. Lansbury still gets it, can't get the puck out to Clark, comes through the defense, hits
Rick Smith.
Rick Smith, that's the man. Hit his leg and just rolled just dangerously by the
Lansbury
crease.
shot goes into the corner. The count, Bob Daly has to let Marcotte get the puck. Reggie Leach throws it right back into the corner. Mike Milbury and Leach backhands it around the board. Goes to Bob Schwartz, to John Rattel, knocked down nicely by Moose DuPont. Everybody on side, right back into the Boston Bruins zone. Cheevers leaves it out for Milbury. Almost over skate.
The goal had come up off the hinges, and it went under the net.
I thought he knocked it in. Lord Almighty.
When he made that quick pivot around the goal, he pulled on the net. The net came right up off the hinges. Puck came around, he slid it in and went in through the back of the net. And a goal judge, no matter how that puck goes in, he has to put the light on it, which he did. And right there, Wally Harris had excellent position on it to see it.
Leach lifted it off himself.
There you see it right there. Actually, it was Milbury who had knocked the puck in there, trying to clear it behind Leach.
Yeah, that's what I saw that, but now that we saw that Leach knocked it off, we can't attribute that to the Boston Bruins. Here it comes again. Watch
there
Leach's
it is,
right hand pull it up off its moorings.
As he comes around, right here, trying to make the sharp turn, bang, up it comes across over the moorings. Milbury trying to clear it back, knocks it in. And what we had thought was the end of the game just turned out to be another flutter on the old heart. This old ticker can't take too much.
11:52 clock time here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Golly, we do hope you're enjoying tonight's game as the Clark line on again. 17,077 yelling, "Let's go Flyers." John Rattel and Bob Clark to take the draw on neutral ice. Dropped underneath Rattel. Leach can't get a piece of it and does. Milbury hustles, so is Reggie Leach. Milbury pulls up from Leach, goes off the boards to Don Marcotte. Here come the Bruins. The right winger was free, but Tommy Blade knocks it down. Backhands it into neutral ice, where it is Gary Doak throwing it into the Philadelphia zone. Stevenson lets it go for Ross Lansbury. 3 Bruins in deep. Drops it off beautifully for Jimmy Watson. Bruins have 5 forwards and make that 5 skaters in the zone. Lansbury tries to headman it to Leach. 2-line pass is the call. Face-off. Back in neutral ice.
I think it was an offside call at the blue line. Reggie got in a little bit too quick on that puck, Huey. And when that happens, no matter where it originates, it comes back to where the pass originated. There's the man there. He's just tramping up there on this overtime period.
He's really flying, Bob.
Man, I'm telling you, I just took a look at that shot total, as you see right there. Flyers have a whopping 42 shots on Jerry Cheevers compared to 24 by Boston on Wayne Stevenson. Man alive, I'll tell you. What a hockey game we're seeing here tonight.
Flyers 9 in the overtime period. The Boston Bruins 6. Big Bob Daly. Fairman has it. Still went wide on a near giveaway. Barber to Rick McLeish. Still in the Boston Bruins zone. Daly stick handles to Gary Dornhofer. Headmans it to Billy Barber. McLeish is free on the left wing. Over the line. Takes Brad Clark wide. Throws it down the slot. Back checking nicely defenseman Rick Smith. Onto the over Moose DuPont's stick. Wayne Cashman hustling back for Boston, right to Rick McLeish. Can he spot Dornhofer? No, he can't. Almost a giveaway. Right back into the Philadelphia zone where Cashman throws it into the corner. McLeish there. pulls up from Shepard, tries to get it to Barber and does. Shot, partially deflected. Backhander coming up here, rolling puck, diving moose to front. There's Rick McLeish and Bill Barber. Barber to Dornhofer. Finally, they get it out. Delayed offside. Fortunately for Philadelphia, McLeish loses control.
No, they got a change there. Part of a change.
Great save, and he took the rising shot. Oh, and a line change. Rick Smith could have ended it all.
That's what happens when you lay those soft passes out. You get too much chance for error there and too much opportunity for the opposition to intercept. When you make those passes, you have to make them crisp and hard, not those little dipsy-doodle fancy Dan type that just lay over there. Here's Rick Smith breaking right in on Stevenson, well out to cut the angle down, and of course he covers up and makes the save.
All right, I think we had to break out the beads in South Philly. I used that line last year. I think now with 4:33 to go in the face-off in the Philadelphia zone, as Zoris Kindrachuk takes it with McNabb. Off the boards for Joe Watson. Avoids a check by McNabb. Gets it to Zoris Kindrachuk. He lofts it out nicely to neutral ice where it's knocked down by Mike Milbury. Milbury throws it into the Philadelphia zone. Kicked out by Kindrachuk. Delayed offside coming up here. Kindrachuk controls. Mel Bridgman drops it to Kindrachuk. 2-on-2. Rolling puck over the line. Takes the shot. Looks back for Tommy Blaine and everybody in tight. Shots it to Lansbury. Back him. Chambers can't find the handle. Poking away, and it is pulled dead by Wally Harris.
Believe me, whoop. Now Bridgman and O'Reilly are going at it. Believe me, I tell you, the fans are so excited here, and everybody's so excited that even the closest play, I don't know how remote it is, will bring a heart-curdling thrill or chill to whatever you want to say to everybody. That puck just comes near the net. Everybody's going to yell and scream. Here it is here. Kindrachuk holding on, making the play right here, making that defenseman come to him, sliding it in the crease to Mel Bridgman, who tried to redirect it from a wide angle to Don Seletsky, and they just couldn't grab it. Cheevers covering up on the play.
Boris Kindrachuk to take the draw with Peter McNabb for the Boston Bruins. 4:08 in this 20-minute segment of heart-pumping overtime. Without a doubt, one of the more exciting games we've ever done.
One of the longest.
Right. Marathon coming up on a 4-hour broadcast.
This game's so long, you'd think you'd have one of those big chandeliers turning around in the middle of the ice like they used to have in the old dance hall.
You see it right there, Bobby. Longest overtime game ever played at the Spectrum. Brad Clark, I think, has been waved out of this action in front of Jerry Cheevers. Boris Kindrachuk will take the draw, and back comes Gary Doak.
A lot of times coaches will do this just to gain a little more rest for his defensemen out there, or even for the forwards when it gets this late in the game, and they don't really mind that referee waving them back off the ice or making them keep the same changes, because it does kill time, gives them a little extra breather.
Kindrachuk tries to get a piece of it, fans on it beneath him, and finally it's McNabb getting a piece of him, whereas Mel Bridgman, here is Don Marcotte, throws it into the Philadelphia zone. Jimmy Watson spins off O'Reilly. The back-checking Oris Kindrachuk gets the puck for Philadelphia. Tries to get it to Mel Bridgman, still in the zone. Teeing it up is Marcotte. Knocked down in front. Stevenson got a piece of it. So does Terry O'Reilly. In comes Jimmy Watson. Out in front, kicked away, and it comes free to neutralize. Great break for Philadelphia there. The Bruins really applying the pressure. Right back to Tom Blade, knocks it down, tries to stick handle. Gives away to Marcotte. Shot, partially deflected. Here comes O'Reilly. Flyers knock it down, and Kindrachuk can't free it. Maybe Tommy Blade can. Bouncing puck into the corner. Seletsky has it for Philadelphia. Edmonds it too far for Oris Kindrachuk. But that takes the pressure off, Bob.
I'll tell you, what's happening here is the Flyers wingers are not going back and picking up that puck in the corner. When the defensemen are standing up and they're checking their men, the puck is shot in by Boston, and then the wingers just stand there. They have to go back and pick up that puck, because it's pretty tough for a defenseman to turn and go back and beat the on-rushing forward in at the puck.
Well, there's some of the great movies later this fall on Prism. All the President's Men, Rocky, and funny flick, Silver Streak. Okay, enough of the humor here of the promotional information. John Rattel to take the draw with Bob Clark. Every one of them most important, and it comes back to Rick Smith. Tries to tee it up through a screen. Stevenson hangs on through a screen.
What a stellar game. I don't know. You can't say enough. I've run out of adjectives to describe the play of Wayne Stevenson and Jerry Cheever so far in this game. They've just been great. Simple word. Sometimes it's overused, but tonight these two guys have been.
John Rattel and Bob Clark again. Clark gets a piece of it, buffs it into the corner for the big guy, Bob Daly. Tries to come back to Clark. Circles away from Rattel. Stick handles out the neutral ice, knocked down, and offside was John Rattel.
It's funny how all the private battles have been waged out there tonight. Of course, Bobby Clark on the ice every time John Rattel is there, and those two are going at it hot and heavy. And Reggie Leach, number 17, Stan Jonathan.
Clark comes back to Moose DuPont. Nicely off to Bob Daly. Almost slips. Tries it at breaking. Ross Lonsbury. He's onside. Takes it into the corner. Pass back Clark. Looks for a Leach in the slot. He'll be happy with a face-off there. Comes free, and it's the back-checking Bob Schwartz. Schwartz with the puck for Boston. Tries to move around Leach. Hit over the head by Clark. Over the line. Poked away nicely by Moose DuPont. Throws it out in front. Whistles wide. Comes back to Rick Smith. Goes wing to wing. Fading on it was all-star defenseman Brad Clark. Lonsbury tries to kick it free. In comes Moose DuPont, and he takes Rattel into the boards. Oh, of all people to fan on it, Bob.
Oh, I'll say it was a break there, but that puck has been bouncing an awful lot. Possibly because the game has gone so far and has gone so long in time that the pucks are frozen before the game to try to eliminate that bouncing, that maybe they're starting to thaw a little bit.
As a program note, despite the fact that we are into Wednesday morning, harness racing from Libertyville follows tonight's game. McLeish gets a piece of it. Joe Watson beats Cashman to it, and it's McLeish behind goaltender Wayne Stevenson. Bruins have 3 forwards in this zone. Barber tries to backhand it. Slap up in the air, knocked down, and it comes free to Jimmy Watson. Watson with Forbes on him, would not like to cough it up. Out in front. Billy Barber getting a piece of it was Joe Watson from Wayne Cashman. Knocked down, backhanded by Watson, thrown into the corner by Shepard to Jimmy Watson. Good pressure by the Bruins here. Philadelphia's Gary Dornhofer in the right wing. Looks for Barber at the left wing, skates it out. Fans on the puck. In turn, knocked down. Overstanding. Nobody doing much here. In comes Jimmy Watson to get a piece of it. Jimmy Watson playing without his helmet. He lost his helmet on the ice. Forbes winds it up around the board. Cashman fans on it. This is icing when it's touched up by Moose DuPont. And he just lets the clock run down. 1:45 in overtime here at the Spectrum. A grinder.
Boy, I'll tell you, this is... You think that hockey is tough for 60 minutes. Try playing it for 80 minutes.
And then plus. But I tell you what, who I would like to see fire this puck now. The big guy, number 2.
I'd like to see it too, and I'd like to see him be on target.
Right. 4-4. Spectrum at Philadelphia.
The longest game in history is for overtime is 116 minutes and 30 seconds of overtime play.
Hopefully we'll be nowhere near that. We won't be able to handle it. Horace Kindrachuk and Peter McNabb. As McNabb was looking away, was dropped prematurely. Whew. You can just see Daly bent over right at the blue line. Moose DuPont trying to find that second win. Mel Bridgman, Horace Kindrachuk, and Don Selesky. Likewise for the Bruins. Marcotte, McNabb, Terry O'Reilly. Bridgman backhander. Moose in front, and it goes to Marcotte. Tries to throw it to the right winger, Terry O'Reilly. Or make that McNabb, backhands it. Moose DuPont knocks it down. Bridgman tries to get it into the zone. It's free, picked off by Brad Clark. Clark headmans the puck into the Philadelphia zone. Hustling quickly as Terry O'Reilly and Moose DuPont. Skirmish right there, and it's Mel Bridgman. Trying to go to right winger, Don Selesky. Jumps over Rick Smith's stick. Foot race is on. Selesky tries to get it down. The big guy, Bob Daly, closes. Pulls up short. Tries to throw it back into the slot. Knocked down, nobody at the right point. Daly has to hustle back for Philadelphia. Backhands it for Jimmy Watson, just a bit too far for him. He throws it to central ice. Down goes Horace Kindrachuk. Last minute overtime. Off to Bob Daly. Headmans it to Don Selesky. Come on, Bert, make this one. Hate to act like a homer here. Backhand in front, knocked down by the back-checking defenseman Brad Clark. Off the right wing, Daly gloves it, tries to throw it in the slot. Bridgman overskates. McNabb headmans the puck, and it's diving Jimmy Watson. Off to Bob Daly. No mistakes here. Off nicely to the left wing where Brad Park has it. 35 seconds. On to Rattel's stick. Daly reads the play beautifully. Into the Boston zone. Trapped there, Mel Bridgman.
Bridgman trying vainly to make a line change there. And of course, with one of the doors of the Flyers player bench is the one that opens up inside the Boston zone. There's Rick Smith, the man that originally started his National Hockey League career with Boston. Then we got traded to California, jumped to the World Hockey, came back to the National Hockey League this year to St. Louis, and then again got traded back to his original team, Boston, this year by the Blues for the man Joe Zanuzzi.
Clark and Rattel gets a piece of it. Milbury goes back to Gary Doak, jumps over his stick, leaves it right on the blue line. Clark has to wait till Lansbury is free. Clark digging away, flailing away, digs it out. Tries to hit a breaking Lansbury. Clark gets it into the zone. Leach and Milbury. Milbury backhands it. Everybody's bunched up right on the blue line. Wally Harris right there. Finally blows the whistle with 14 seconds to go. Maybe one shot by either club.
14 seconds to go. First overtime period over.
Oh, Ryan Rooney as out comes Brad Park and Rick Smith for the Boston Bruins, replacing Milbury and Gary Doak. Philadelphia going with Jimmy Watson, Tom Blayden, Reggie Leach, Ross Lansbury, Bob Clark, Rattel, Stan Jonathan playing on the left wing with this line, and I can't pick up the right winger, Bobby, but I assume that it is
Bobby Schmartz.
Bobby Schmartz. Okay, Clark and Rattel. Clark knocks it down, tries to get his stick down. Rattel kicks it free. Overskating is the Boston Bruins. Stan Jonathan. Clark gets a piece of it. 6, 5, 4. Blaine will have to throw an 80-footer. 3, 2, 1. We're going into double overtime. Oh,
Double overtime.
and a lot of tired fans and equally tired hockey players. Clark gets a piece of it. So does Reggie Leach, but it comes free to Gary Doak. Jimmy Watson gets a piece of the stick of Doak. Stevenson drops it off to the big guy, Bob Daly. The Bruins send 3 people in. They swing it around, run around into the corner. Jimmy Watson recovers for Philadelphia. Rolling puck. Skates away from the check of John Rattel. Nicely off to Ross Lansbury. He should throw it out the neutral ice. Backhands it to Clark. It is still in the Boston zone. Daly gets a piece of it. Knocked down. Reggie Leach overskates. Picked off by Bobby Schwartz. He almost throws it away and does to Bob Clark. Everybody on side for Philadelphia. Clark too far for Ross Lansbury. Off the board for Lansbury. Tries to come back to Clark. Puts it into the Bruin zone. Oh, looks like tired legs early, Bob. We're only in the first 30 seconds. But Ross Lansbury is still alive. John Rattel has the puck for the Boston Bruins. Knocked down by Lansbury. Oh, down goes the freshman Doak. Lansbury has to do it solo. Throws it wide. Leach can't get a stick down, but the big guy Bob Daly does. Into the corner. Bob Clark a little slow to get into the zone. Schmartz gets there first. Stick handling for the Boston Bruins is Bob Schmartz. I think we'll look for quick shifts in this second overtime period. Bobby Clark is already waved to the bench. That is Mike Milbury. Tries to move around Daly. The big guy just gets a stick down and comes away with the puck. The lone forward in is Wayne Cashman. Drops it off for Moose DuPont. Leach heads to the bench. DuPont throws it into the Bruin zone. Cheevers makes the glove save. Throws it out to the right wing where Stan and Jonathan can't get it out. Right back in Gary Dornhofer. Milbury headmans the puck to Shepard. 2-line pass. Face-off will be in the Bruin zone.
Those skates have to be on the offensive side of that center ice, or pardon me, defensive side of that center ice zone before it's not a 2-line pass, and Shepard was caught parallel with his skates over that line. Both teams, as you said, you are really tired. You can see that they're not jumping in on top of each other as quickly as they were earlier in the game, and of course that's to be understood.
Tommy Blayden throws it hard around the dasher boards. Takes a weird carom. Billy Barber gets there first. Lets it go to Wayne Cashman. McLeish takes Cashman off the front. Shepard throws it into the Philadelphia zone. Stevenson gets his stick on it for Tommy Blayden. Blayden throws it hard off the board to Gary Dornhofer. Blayden in turn buries Shepard. Make that forwards, and it is McLeish headmanning to Billy Barber. Pulls up. Looks for breaking Gary Dornhofer. The Dornhofer onside. Throws it into the corner. Barber is taken down. And it comes free to Brad Park behind goaltender Jerry Cheevers. Backhands it around the glass. Blaine gets a stick down. Instead it's Forbes. Forbes to the Boston Bruins. Greg Shepard solo against Joe Watson. Offside as Cashman was over the blue line.
Good play there. Good play by Cashman, rather just backhanding that pass, not trying to control it to Craig Shepard, because Bob Kelly, number 9, was bearing down on him, and he could have had a pretty good check on him. But in and got it over to Shepard, who got a pretty good opportunity in on the Flyers zone, but offside was a call.
Okay, we have the hustle lineup for both teams. Kindrachuk and Peter McNabb. Kelly takes O'Reilly out of the play, but it goes into the Philadelphia zone. Hustling back, Jimmy Watson. In deep comes McNabb. Pulls it away from McNabb. There is Marcotte. Spun around. McNabb trying to throw it out in front. Stevenson gets it off. Nicely Doris. Kindrachuk. Headman's at the back. Kelly in the left wing. Goes too far for Donnie Selesky. Milbury with the puck, retreating back into the Boston Bruins zone. Kelly on him. Lofts it off the board to Terry O'Reilly. Headman's it to McNabb. To Marcotte over the line. Tries to tee it up. Pokes into the corner, but good back checking by Bob Kelly. He comes away with the puck for Philadelphia. Right around Marcotte. Throws it out to neutralize. As Milbury has to wait for McNabb. Doak right back into the Philadelphia zone where Boris Kindrachuk has it for the Flyers. Off to Joe Watson. Backhands it to Kindrachuk. Looks for Bob Kelly. With a hound. Tries to throw it into the Bruins zone. Knocked down by Gary Doak. Looks off to Mike Milbury. Milbury at the red line. Throws it in deep into the corner where Joe Watson has it on the easy count. Clark is now on for Philadelphia. Back in neutral ice. Clark can't find the handle. O'Reilly does. Tries to beat Joe Watson to it. Clark gets his stick down. In comes Kelly with a face-off just at the blue line.
You'll see the checking even closer now, especially as time goes on in the second overtime. Everybody will be sticking right close to their checks, and that's brought on by anxiety and by fatigue.
We're coming close to 12:30 on a Wednesday morning. Let's go Flyers. The chant from this Spectrum crowd. Clark and John Rattel. Just inside the blue line. Clark leaves it go for Tommy Clayton. Poked away. Rattel tries to throw it back on the left wing to Stan Jonathan. Tees it up. Goes into the corner. Takes a carom. Getting a piece of it is Philadelphia Flyers. Bob Clark. Looks for Reggie Lee. Onside. Closing. Shot! Throws it into the corner. Knocked down nicely by Rick Smith. Too far for Stan Jonathan. Tom Blayden has it for Philadelphia. Onto the stick of Ross Lonsbury to Bob Clark. That is Brad Clark. Here come the Bruins, 3-on-3. Shot into the seats.
Good play by Tommy Blayden there with a dangerous attack by Boston, 3-on-2, and Jerry Cheevers came up with another good save at the other end of the rink when Bobby Clark sent Reggie Leach free on the right side, and he leashed a blistering drive, but Cheevers was out to cut the angle off and make the save as we pick it up here. Here's Leach using that good speed of his. Go around Rick Smith. Here comes the shot. It's every bit of it, and Cheevers just gets that right leg on it. Makes the save.
Clark got a piece of the follow-up, but could not convert. Clark has some questions now for Wally Harris. I don't know what that might be. Clark, I think, needs a new stick, and that's just about it. Clark, Marcotte, Schmutz. Clark, Lonsbury, Leach. Bob Daly, Jimmy Watson. Clark kicks it free, back to Bob Daly. Comes out to neutral ice. Gary Doak right back into the Philadelphia zone. Stevenson leaves it for Jimmy Watson. The Bruins have three forwards in close. Maybe they can get away from it. All right, let's go. Bruins have all skaters inside the Philadelphia zone. Leach, stick handling. Drops it off for Jimmy Watson. Here comes the rush. Flyers 3-on-3 with Clark breaking on the right wing. He's onside. Can get a slip down. Comes back to the big guy. Daly through a screen. Comes to Jimmy Watson. Throws it in the corner. Clark Leach with a turnaround. Looks for Bob Clark. Clark comes in deep. And finally, it is the Boston Bruins' Gary Doak trying to get it out to Schmutz. Comes free at neutral ice for the big guy. Bob Daly has it for Philadelphia. Pulls it back in. Dumps it onto the stick of Bob Schmutz. Left winger Marcotte was free for a second. Lonsbury almost steals it. Goes to Rick McLeish. McLeish looking for a breaking Gary Dornhofer. Right back into the Bruins zone as Schmutz gets a piece of Dornhofer. Dornhofer back to McLeish. Nobody at the right point. Flyers slow getting defenseman on. Bobby?
Yeah, he got caught in the line change, but Ricky was right there, and I think if he should have taken a nice quick look there just to make sure that his point man was there.
Brad Park goes around the boards for Wayne Cashman. Tries to hit. Joe Watson can't find the puck. Throwing in front. Stevenson gloves it and hangs on.
So we keep talking about how Wally Harris is going to let everything go. The last penalties that were called in this game tonight was at the 17:20 mark, or 29 mark rather, of the second period when Daly and Cashman went off for fighting. So we've had a lot of hockey in, but since then, and no penalties called, not even a minor infraction.
Great Greg Shepard, along with Rick McLeish, would like to tee it up and win the draw, get it back to Brad Farm. McLeish gets a piece of it nicely off the Moose DuPont with Cashman in, backhands it hard off the board to Harry Dornhofer. Flyers coming 3-on-3 to Billy Barber onside. Barber goes around Brad Park. The puck is beneath him. And finally, it is Greg Shepard headbatting it to Wayne Cashman. He does 1-on-2. Forbes on the left wing. Takes it in deep. Wide on Tom Bladen. Looking to throw it out in front. Still stick handles. Back to Brad Park. He has to take time to tee it up. Stevenson gets a piece of it, throws it into the corner. McLeish and Greg Shepard knocked down. Cashman controls. Back to the point. Rick Smith through a screen. Barber knocks it down. With Dornhofer, 3-on-2. Flyers. Rolling puck. Oh! Just about getting a piece of it was Cheever. Cashman and Barber collide. In comes McLeish trying to dig it free. Everybody slow making line changes. Just slow finding their feet. That's Rick Smith with the puck. Throws it into the Philadelphia zone. Bounces it on Stevenson. Guides it off to Don Selesky. The lone forechecker for the Boston Bruins is Peter McNabb. Tommy Bladen almost loses it. Bladen goes back into the corner where Selesky moves around Stan Jonathan. Gets it out to Kindrachuk. Backhands it into the corner. Is Tom Bladen. He should go to the backhand and does. Onto the stick of Jimmy Watson. Off the dasher boards to Mel Bridgman. Pulls it back to old Kindrachuk. To Selesky trailing. Goes to the screen. Selesky shot. Great save. Loose to the left side. Hustling back, Stan Jonathan. Looks for O'Reilly on the right wing. Tries to move around the big guy. Pulls it back. In on Stevenson. Quick save into the corner. Watson tries to poke it free. Comes off to Don Selesky. Looks for Kindrachuk. Gets it to him. Boris Kindrachuk will have to do it almost solo. Spun around by Terry O'Reilly. Starts down the right wing. Does not see McNabb. Back is Daly over the line. Daly shot goes into the seats. Stan Jonathan.
He was checked by Mel Bridgman, back checking on the play just as he was trying to unload that shot on Stevenson. Hit Bridgman's stick and away it went into the seats. But what a chance for both teams coming down on line rushes. Flyers had a good opportunity there with Selesky coming in on making a good shot on Jerry Cheevers, but as we said earlier, when Cheevers comes roaring out like that, you have to slide the puck along the ice, force him to use his feet, or else just missing him as he comes up, because when you're moving out on a goaltender's moving out on the shot as Cheevers is there, you've got to hope that the puck hits you and you got the angle cut off on him. But right there you see Selesky's shot getting up high.
Brad Park shot, and Stevenson makes the save. Oh, Lord, a bullet from 50 feet by Brad Park. John Rattel won the draw and fired it right into Stevenson's midsection.
And he's getting a standing ovation for that. Both goaltenders deserve one.
There is Don Marcotte with Clark diving. Throws it out in front. Loose in front. Behind goaltender Wayne Stevenson. Marcotte over the net. Reggie Leach throws it into the corner where Joe Watson tries to skate away from Marcotte. Moose DuPont, but Lonsbury is there for Philadelphia. Bruins really putting on a lot of heat. Around the board to Leach. He can't free it out. Knocked down by Milbury. There is Joe Watson for the Flyers. Flyers trying to nearly get it out of their own zone. Knocked down. There's Bob Clark stick handling for Philadelphia with Leach. Lonsbury free in the left wing. Throws it. Holds up the shot and it's offside Philadelphia.
It's tough to pick up that whistle with the crowds going crazy like that. Close calls on both ends of the ice. I don't know about you, Hugh, but I've been sitting here licking my lips and I got chopped lips already.
All right, who can find that extra, whatever it is, to pump home the game winner? McLeish and Shepard gets it back to Jimmy Watson at the red line, right back into the Boston Bruins zone. Cheevers knocks down the rolling puck, throws it into the corner. Dornhofer keeps it hot in the Bruins zone. On top of him is Rick Smith. Barber right there with Shepard trying to bury him. Flyers will be happy, and so are the Bruins with a face-off right in the Boston zone.
Boy, the tension mounts with every passing click of that clock.
Bill Prism will be going very, very late tonight. McLeish against Greg Shepard. McLeish has not had a lot of success on the draws with Greg Shepard. Let's go Flyers. 17,000, most of them still here into the corner. Marcotte tries to clear it out. Wayne Cashman with the back checking. Jimmy Watson throws it into the corner, knocked down. Dornhofer loses two. Shepard shot. One whistles wide. There's Big Bob Daly for Philadelphia. Off the boards for Rick McLeish. Tries to poke it into the corner, past Milbury, beneath Milbury, looks for somebody out in front, thrown into the corner, hustling forward is Gary Dornhofer. Flyers and Bruins all bunching up, knocked down by the back-checking Wayne Cashman. He has the puck for the Boston Bruins. Drops it off to the left wing to Dave Forbes. Back to Cashman as McNabb broke. Kelly has it for Philadelphia. Takes a hit from Cashman, can't find the handle. Brad Clark has it for the Bruins. Knocked down by Rick McLeish. In turn, set the length of the ice. This will be icing against the Boston Bruins, Rick Smith.
Every play now is so important. That's why you'll find a lot of icings are going to be occurring here in this second overtime. Nobody wants to make that mistake, and if it just looks like the other team is going to get the slightest of age, they're going to get it out of their zone as quickly as possible.
Oh, we have played 8 minutes and 31 seconds into second overtime. Boris Kindrachuk and Peter McNabb to take the draw. McNabb gets a piece of it. Brad Clark does too. On to McNabb's stick. Moose DuPont comes in. Tommy Bladen has to hustle back for the Flyers as Bladen picks it off and beats Stan Jonathan to the puck. Can he beat O'Reilly to it? Poked out nicely by Moose DuPont. The Boston Bruins play giveaway to Oris Kindrachuk with Don Selesky over the line. Wrist shot went wide. Off the board there is Don Selesky and Bob Kelly trying to dig it free. Trying to kick it out of Selesky. Kindrachuk right there on a Selesky stick off to Bob Kelly. Milbury throws it to McNabb, who gets it out as Tommy Bladen has to watch himself on this one. Off to Oris Kindrachuk to Selesky. Throws it into the corner. Kelly stood up nicely by Mike Milbury. Kelly really hustling for the Flyers. Brad Clark and Kelly combined. The wing comes Mike Milbury. Kindrachuk has the right winger. Milbury to O'Reilly in front. Stevenson gets a piece of it and hangs on. Good play by O'Reilly. And Mike Milbury.
You know, going to pick up some of this body action as we see here. Kirk Kelly coming in for checking Brad Clark. And if that's not in overtime play, that constitutes a knee penalty or tripping if we were in regulation time. And Wally Harris has elected to let everything go here, and unless it's something that is very, very, very blatant, he will not call it.
John Rattel and Bob Clark. Important face-off here. Clark tries to get a piece of it. It comes back to Rick Smith. He handled it. Knocked down by Clark. Here come the Flyers 3-on-3. Lansbury on the left wing. Clark holds. Everybody on side. Oh, I thought Leach was off by about 8 feet. Comes deep into the corner. In comes Lansbury. In comes Rick Smith. Knocked down by Marcotte to John Rattel. Can't beat the big guy, Bob Daly, to the puck. Still in the Boston Bruins zone. In front was Lansbury. Can't get a stick down. It is Rick Smith throwing it out to Daly. Marcotte to John Rattel. The back two line is Bob Clark. Two line pass the call. Face off in the Bruins zone. Good pressure by the Clark line and Bob Daly at the right point.
Good play. The Boston defense, we talked about it. Maybe they were getting tired. They haven't really showed too much signs of fatigue. They're still playing hard. I know they're tired, but they are still playing as strong in this double overtime as they were in the first period. You saw the shots on goal. Flyers holding a wide edge, 47-32. But that only counts the ones that were on the net that would have resulted in goals. The other, how many close calls we've had in these double overtimes? Well, you know how they are. They don't go on that shot clock.
Here come the Boston Bruins, 3-on-3. John Rattel with Marcotte on the left wing, slightly behind Terry O'Reilly. Ridden off beautifully by Ross Lansbury. He'll throw it out to neutralize, or attempts to. Clark right there. Comes back to Doak into the corner. Good pressure by the Boston Bruins. It's out of... Score! Somebody kicked that in! And the Boston Bruins win in overtime.
Terry O'Reilly.
The Boston Bruins take a 2-0 lead in the semifinal series with Philadelphia. Winning just over the midway mark. Got to see how this one happened again because we're really not sure. And we assume it's Terry O'Reilly, number 24.
Boston goal scored by number 24,
Terry O'Reilly credited with the goal. Let's see what happens. Lansbury goes down. Goes into the corner. Joe Watson right there. Oh, he threads a needle. Stevenson with a stick down. Got a piece of it, raises his hand, and the Boston Bruins